Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Storm Competitive Series. It is currently Season 4 in week number 7. It's Emergence versus Pryde going head-to-head. Both of these teams have had some turmoil, so we're going to be coming back to see who is going to be better in this series. And I'm joined by the legend himself, the Enigma. Crow, welcome.
Hi, I'm here. This is my... Wait, no, I've casted here before.
Yes, you have.
Tuesday. This is my second time. This is my first time with you, though. We've never crossed paths yet. So this will be... We're busting the cherry right here.
Ooh.
Right
Well, we're talking about that downstairs below the channel with some other goated casters, but we won't talk that. It's not, for the public display.
I don't remember the game. I was going to intro the game, and I don't remember. Let me look. Emergence Pryde. That's who it is. All right, I remember now. Emergence and Pryde, these are the 5th and 6th place teams, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty close on the scoreboard. They're separated by... What are they right now? 19 and 21? 19 for Emergence, 21 for Pryde, right? 2 points?
That sounds about right. I don't have all my stats coming up. I wasn't supposed to cast this game. I just dove in the casting channel. But yeah, both these rosters have struggled against some of our top 4 teams. There are teams that have great players. They have great mechanical skill. They have a good understanding of strategy. Just sometimes when it comes to their execute, they just start to struggle. They stumble, and that comes down to like that 5-10 second push in the end where it seems like they just can't get all their horses in one row. Maybe they're putting, the cart before the horse or something on those lines. But I know these teams are capable of greatness. I know they can achieve it, and hopefully week 7 is the day they achieve that. Yeah,
and of course, I know Emergence has that famous player that I've heard a lot about by the name of Goria.
Yep.
Is it? People have been hyping him up a lot, so I'm excited to watch him play. People are saying he's, perhaps even surpasses Burnt Turkey himself, which would certainly be a surprise. I know Connor, too, was talking to me and saying that this game should be a banger just because of how close these two teams are on the standings. And Emergence actually does, you're talking about how both these teams have struggled against our top 4 teams, with the exception of Emergence versus Wichita Wolves, in which that was 2-0 Emergence. So it's kind of like, yes, Emergence technically have a better record against the top 4. Pryde have a better record across the season. So yeah, let's see if those kind of cancel out.
I think both rosters are in the process of changing their play style. Emergence wants to become this aggressive, hyper-aggressive, fly-out windows, click-head style rosters, where Pryde is already that, and Pryde is trying to become, well, a more structured team. So basically, Emergence went from this very structured team to this frag central team, and, well, Pryde went from this frag central team to a structured team. So I'm so curious to see how basically this opposite style of mentality is just going to come together over this best of 2.
Usually one of 2 things happens. Either the very structured team is prepared to deal with the aggression, kind of sits back, lets the swingers come to them and takes the win, or that aggression really catches them off guard. It's kind of like what the example a lot of people use for aggression versus structure is like, remember Dark Zero? Remember how every time they went against a LATAM team, they would just get swamped because they could never deal with that kind of play, and slowly they started to get used to it. Really just to see how Emergence and Pryde kind of set up, and of course you can see as the stats are now up, Goria sitting way at the top, eclipsing almost every player in this league at a 1.43 rating, a plus 78 KD differential, and a 1.15 KPR is extremely I don't know what to say other than good. Like, I'm lost for words. That is an absolutely insane scoreline, one that you rarely even see at professional play. 20-9 on entry, as well as Zofieger. That is exactly what you want to see with from your entry main. And not only that, but he's also got the highest cost on the team. So this man is, just looking at the stat lines from him compared to the rest of the team, I feel like this is almost like a one-man show.
And talking about his entries, he isn't even the primary entry. He's the secondary entry. And some of the turmoil that Emergence has is the fact that they've been kind of going back and forth between their entries. Some days it's moved, some days it's been, some days it's clouds. And I think they've been stuck in that kind of like, who's going to play what role? Goria loves his Zofia. That's his bread and butter. So he doesn't really fit the traditional entry level role. And even Ashe, I feel like in our previous meta, what we called utility consumption simulator, it's hard to even call Ashe a true entry anymore, because basically she was a pseudo support operator. You would send your flashbangs down range, you would utilize your breaching charge, and hopefully Ashe did her job in the previous part of the round getting map control, but she wasn't this central spearhead figure that we know from the previous 4 years of Rainbow.
Yeah, and you know the kind of dissolving or not really dissolving but diluting of that utility meta, I wonder if we're going to see Ashe come back as that entry fragger, because now, you know, not only are the stuns and the utility burning not as important with the Wamai nerfs, the Jaeger nerfs, all the shields being gone, stuff like that, but she also doesn't have flashes anymore. Sure, she has one extra breaching round, she's got 3, but she's pretty much just going to be used for the entry frame. So I'm interested to see if Ashe kind of comes back into that more aggressive, less utility heavy role. Zofia, obviously, though, still has both the ability to clear and destroy. And of course, looking at the stats for Pryde, we can compare them. A lot less top on Pryde, a lot more even. Rizzer and Oni both with the exact same rating, both positive KD differentials, 192 for Rizzer, 110 and 92 for Oni, both with a 0.8 plus KPR. Costs a little bit lower for Oni, 52% on him, 60% on Rizzer. Entries as well, both still positive, actually with the exact same survival rate. So your duo entry of Rizzer Oni doing pretty well. Everyone else, the supporting staff, you know, entry, droner, hard support, all of them, of course, it's not necessarily their job to be at the forefront of the fights. Actually, I say that Samuel is negative on the entry and has more than both his entries combined. That's weird.
Oh, I love how that just kind of synergizes well together with each other. And honestly, what I think separates these two rosters from the other 10 teams in our league is when we see these teams win, it's the entire team as a unit is playing their particular roles. And you basically just see one coherent unit. Far too frequently in T3 do we just see one individual getting these flashy, grandiose plays, the highlight clips that you're going to be putting in your fragtages down the road, but that doesn't make you a successful team. What makes you a successful team when all 5 cylinders of your team are firing on the exact same frequency. That just doesn't happen in T3 all that often.
Yeah, actually, you know, you were talking about like playing their roles. I actually just noticed too. I'm blown away at the fact that we are on week. What are we on? Week 7. We're on week 7. Dylan has gotten in 3 entry engagements total across the whole season so far. That is mind-boggling to me. The fact that he has only gotten the first kill or been first picked 3 times. 3. That is playing your drone, playing your layback drone flank watch hard breach role like to a T.
Yeah, I was going to say that just might be a structural problem with his role, right? We see these people who are just buried off in the grapes doing who knows what for the first 2 minutes of the round as they get, you know, Rizzer these, you know, crazy flashy plays. And then when he's stuck in that poor 1vx scenario, I'm sorry, like most of those times you're not going to win unless the opponents you're facing completely, utterly throw the entire round. So sometimes that makes sense. And even if you're that smoke player on site, on cameras, you know, just looking through the map, trying to determine where the attackers are spawning, you might never find yourself in the opening duel unless they do some Hail Mary blitz strategy.
There's also too, you know, looking at the staff predictions, I don't see an Emergence shield anywhere. It's mostly Pryde and tie. Actually, you're here with us. Why do you think it's going to be a tie?
So I've called a lot of ties. I called the Lycus Empire tie versus In Control Nation. People said, Chief, you're completely dumb. You're absolutely wrong. There's no way that's going to happen. Lycus is just too good, or In Control Nation is too good. But 3000 IQ Chief, with his 3 brain cells, was able to see the future. And well, I saw the future again. Pryde, Emergence, both of these rosters, like I was saying, they're trying to figure out who they are, what play style they want to be with, And I think of that, we're basically going to see each of the teams win their own map, probably going to overtime for both maps. But again, with two teams trying to determine who they are, screams a tie to me.
Interesting. But Fame is telling me to say hi. Oh, there's an emergence shield. There we go. Shout out to Smitaceous. Fame is telling me to say hi to Jenna. We have Jenna now.
We do. I know. I'm very fashionably late, but I like your guys' pregame analysis. You think that there's gonna be a tie?
Man, I don't know. I've never seen these two teams play in my life.
I think Emergence. I mean, just looking at the player index and seeing, like, knowing their different players. Outside looking in, I haven't really casted them very much before. Goria, he's definitely a player to watch, but I think the rest of their team is, they can be a little bit inconsistent when it comes to actually showing up. And you can even see that in the stats. I mean, Goria has some of the highest cost that we've seen in this entire league, and that just says something about the rest of their team. That's my little input. But yeah, so I'm here now. Hello, guys. Hi.
Yeah, well, it's been a long time coming. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Goria. Again, I'm gonna reference Burnt Turkey because I love Austin. Back before SCS Season 4, Burnt Turkey played for a team that I'm sure he'll cringe remembering called Project Crimson Esports. That was a team where Burnt Turkey, it wasn't a Goria situation because this team is actually successful somewhat. Project Crimson Esports in EPS Season 5, Season 5, had 1 point, I think, off a draw, and Burnt Turkey was still top 10 highest rated players. He put him on his back, though he couldn't necessarily carry enough, and that's kind of what happens a lot when you have these one-man army players that the entire team relies upon. It's almost like the weakness of BDS back then used to be they relied way too much on Shaiko. If Shaiko got shut down, they would often lose. Emergence might fall into that same trap, especially if they're still dealing with role changes and trying to figure out themselves as a roster. If they lean too much on Goria and Pryde, a way more constructed roster and a way more kind of structure conducive roster picks up on that, you could target Goria. Make sure he can't get those entry frags, or make him go 1-for-1 in those rounds, shut him down early, force Emergence to try to adapt. That's also how Team Secret shut down G2. When G2 used to be, the Kanto show, Secret pinpointed what operator Kanto was going to play, tracked the bastard down, killed him, and there you go. You rip the teeth right out of G2. But ban phase is going to come in. Of course, Kafe is our first map. I know it's Carter's favorite if he's in chat. He's itching to watch this. Ace is going to be the first one. Definitely makes sense. Very, very common ban on this map.
Right, you are. So honestly, I'm just catching up, being that I just got here. So excuse me if I'm a little bit behind during some of this. Sledge, however, is going to be our next ban. We obviously know Sledge. I mean, he's a very great soft destruction operator, and you can definitely tell on this one that Emergence played their cards out as a target ban, and Wamai coming in as our third ban from Pryde. We can see that one coming too. It's a very, not necessarily target ban, but universal ban. We know the Wamai Jaeger combo, but with the new rework, well, not the rework, but the new, I think, nerf of that duo is not so much common, is it?
Yeah, usually you only see 1 or 2 of them played. There's, of course, sites and maps where they still see a lot, like Trophy Statue on Villa, dorms on Oregon. There's still a lot of sites where those two are conducive to the anchor play, though Kafe does happen to be one of those maps. They just don't want to deal with that one. Another interesting note, the most interesting ban in this entire phase so far is the Sledge. Everyone else is pretty standard. Right. Sledge, the first team I ever saw ban Sledge on Kafe was G2 against Navi back at the beginning of ESL Season 11, when Kafe was first introduced after the rework. G2 banned Sledge, and what that did was it knocked an important pair of nades off the board. It made Castle a much more viable option, at least exterior castles, and it forced the attacking team to pretty much bring Buck every round. Now, of course, back then Buck had nades, Nowadays, Buck does not. And Pryde aren't even going to be going for any of the standard soft destructions. Instead, they'll opt to just bring the Thatcher and the Zofia with breaching charges. So we'll likely still see some kind of investment in the top floor roam clear and the vertical play, though it's certainly not going to be as efficient as if you had a Buck or a Sledge.
Right, you are. And I definitely think that that's going to have to play into the hands of Emergence, right? I mean, there is obviously a reason why they took Sledge off the board and played Kitchen first, which is a very vertical site. And for them to have a roam presence on second floor would definitely be conducive, like you said, of this. And I mean, on top of that, if they could waste enough time for Pryde, with Pryde not having that, you know, all or nothing, absolutely, you know, Kool-Aid Man hammer coming in, I think that it might actually end up being around for Emergence. I'm gonna predict this.
They are already in restaurant, and they're moving through red carpet. It seems like they're just going to completely disregard everything we said. The Banshee inside of Carpet Hall is going to get destroyed. The Melusi will swing out. She'll lose the fight to Clouds. Sam already dead. First frag for Pryde as they try to swiftly make their way in, though they don't know Son of Finn is tucked in the corner. Sam will get traded out. We're back to an even 4v4, but plenty of time for this attack to plant. Dylan is already going to get down. Another trade goes. Son of Finn onto Rizzer, and he'll die for his trouble. Garai finds Michaela. Ben finishes off the down Oni with a pistol, and it's all down to Dylan in the post plant. Planter himself, the last man alive. He takes out Garai, the big player for Emergence, but he's still got 2 to find. Moved in Ben, slowly closing in. The hatch is open. The Thatcher very susceptible to the peak. That's an easy kill for Moved. The rush, though it got them into the site, does not win them the round as Emergence take the round for the retake.
Right, you are. I think it was a really good attempt on point of Pryde to understand that, oh yeah, they're roaming on the floor above. Maybe we can catch them off guard. But the one thing that they did not foresee was the actual clutch. I mean, for them to be somewhat ready for that and for them to coordinate, especially from above and kind of play downwards. I mean, it was very great coordination on side of Emergence. I really think that, you know, the second that somebody rushed in, they, you know, got right on top of it. They started rotating down to the first floor, and it became a very easy round for Pryde to be outplayed in, just as easy as it was for Emergence to get outplayed. I think that, however, it really came down to ones, and Pryde was not successful in their attempt. That's just the simplicity of it, of a rush strategy.
Yeah, I mean, they got in the site, they got the entry pick, and then
it went to shit.
Then it just kind of fell apart. Sam, especially, or not Sam, especially Son of Finn, holding the head holes with a shotgun, able to kill 2 before he was traded out. Great job to him. Dylan was planting, of course, couldn't get the refrag because he was busy. Everyone off-site that was trying to hold back the roamers died. The entire point of the rush strat is that you try to get in, you try to get the plant down, and you try to make the defending roamers have to retake their own site, and Pryde just kind of fell apart in those gunfights, like you said. So it's back to bar for the defense. Pretty standard rotation already, although they are going to be setting up the shield inside of Freezer. We see that sometimes when a Mira is not played, they have like the pseudo Mira setup. They place the shield inside of Freezer, of course protected by the ADS, and they have someone play behind the shield, sort of like a mirror window, using those slats to their advantage, picking anyone off and making Piano a lot harder to take, a lot more of a dangerous and risky prospect for the attackers to move in. Buck is still not being taken by Pryde, though, so we will not have a cocktail take. This is choreographed as Piano.
Most definitely. And like you said, Piano is going to be a very volatile state to have to control. And it's going to prove to be a very rough take, to say the least, for Pryde. And I think the way that they're going to run into challenges attempting to take Piano and how they deal with them is really going to sum up how they play the rest of this round and the rest of this game, for example, because knowing them, they are probably going to do, you know, a few of the same things over and over. Adaptability for Pryde, I mean, it's possible, but at the same time, you know, they're more of an aggressive team, is what I've heard, right? Both of them are very aggressive teams. So, I think, you know, being a frag-heavy team... Oh, my God. I'm trying to do analysis here. I know. You almost whipped it. I'm trying to do analysis here. What are you doing, then? What's happening?
Well, it's an opener.
It is. It's over.
He gets the Nomad before the Nomad has really done anything. Maybe one air jab sent out at this point, but it's super early in the round. And I mean, the Bandit's
That's
already
huge.
put down his utility, so that's a great kill for Ben. I would
That's
honestly,
huge.
I would say that's worth it. Of course,
Right.
you also saw all the way downstairs by the bakery. Double door moved, was kind of hovering around looking for the run out, though there's no one left on the rappel for him to find. Michaela now on the white rappel, trying to flush Goria. He's actually got a crouch rotate in, and he's going to be able to get away because no one is holding the angle for fear of Evil Clouds playing behind that pseudo mirror shield. With the Jaeger nerf, it goes down a lot easier, though. So, unfortunately for the Maestro, he'll have to back out into long bar. He'll post up inside of Cocktail, join the smoke, and Sam will find the smoke himself. No more denial with those gas canisters. Garai playing very aggressively will go down to Sam as well. 2 kills with Zofia, and now it's just moved in Clouds to clutch out a 2v4.
Mic off. Okay, moved in evil. The two last players, they're more of an arbitrary duo of Emergence, Goria being one of the top players. They're going to definitely have to play aggressive if they want to have a retake strategy on an uphill battle of a 2-4. You got about 20 seconds left on the clock. There hasn't been a plant that's been technically made. That is Dylan. And now he is going to be planting it. As a matter of fact, we see a lot of presence from the attackers in bathroom, which is actually going to be taken over by Michaela, and moved. Michaela, and moved. He's gonna move in, but he gets killed in the end, right? Michaela. I'm messing up these names, man.
I'm pretty sure it's just Michaela, and
that could have been a really good round.
I mean, their shield strategy fell apart as soon as it got taken out by the Zofia. That strategy used to work because of the utility meta. It no longer does because of the lack of a utility meta.
Right.
I mean, all it takes is one person to move in by the stage windows, completely avoiding your line of sight. The pixel player has already been cleared, so there's really no pressure going on, especially if they have some sort of utility set up or someone just watching the red door from, or the pixel door from like red wall. That's super easy to shut down. As you can see, it only took 2 shots from the Zofia's grenade launcher, and not only did she find the smoke through the tight angle, she also collapsed onto Goria playing inside a freezer. So that's just, at this point in the meta, trying to play that shield is just giving the attackers half a freezer.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think that's a really good analysis of it. You're a very smart man, Crow.
Wait, who planted? Oh, it was Dylan again.
It was Dylan. It was the Thatcher. He continues to have the diffuser in hand on our next round. I'm playing a lot of filler here. I'm sorry. My analysis is going weak tonight. Have to bear with me. But round 3. This is definitely going to be something. They're going down to reading. And they have a top floor presence. It's going to be sitting in Cocktail. Kind of want to see how much time they waste with this, because a lot of how much time they waste specifically is really going to set the pace for the defense, because let's say, the defense only has 1 minute left to be able to clear top floor and take reading. That's not going to be a lot of time for them. They're going to be very rushed, and they might have to resort to that little 20-second meta, as we like to call it, or a very hasty play. You see that Sam is trying to be baited going into white, but yeah, so I think that they're definitely going to have to play very aggressive in taking Cocktail in order to play vertically, which is obviously their attempt at hand. Now Sam, he was the first kill of this round. Goria is going to be taking him out from white. Like I said, he got baited and Goria swung and he won out that gunfight.
Yeah, Sam definitely getting a little bit of over-aggressive there. His teams didn't have control of bathroom. They didn't have control of freezer. They didn't even open up the Cocktail double door. They really didn't have anything going for them. That was a pretty risky play from him, and obviously it did not work out. There's another kill as well Ben onto Rizzer. Now your Hibana's dead. With the new utility changes as well, she has a lot more to lose when she goes down. And now, because the defenders have figured, we already took out 2 picks, we can effectively rotate back down, make this a 5 versus 3, and keep the man advantage. C4 goes out. It'll trade back the damage onto Oni that he had previously done to Ben through the floor, but it's no kill. So luckily for Pryde, they still maintain those 3 men and don't sit at an even greater disadvantage as they could have been. They're just kind of fishing for kills through the floor at this point. I mean, of course, again, they don't have the sledge, they don't have the buck, they can't really make more quickly. You see them relying on those breaching charges, but it's a pretty big time commitment. I mean, it takes a second and a half to put it down. You have to walk away from the hole so you don't get caught in the blast, and then you gotta re-engage, to which the defender is probably already looking at it. Oni just narrowly escapes by the skin of his teeth from the castle, who he will re-engage, and Son of Finn just kind of gives himself up. So 1 kill, finally the first kill for Pryde, but it comes 30 seconds left in the round. There's only 20 seconds left, and they have not made the transition. They'll drop into pillars, but very susceptible to this. Oni will fall, or Dylan will fall. Michaela gets the trade onto Ben. Michaela will try getting the plant down now, but she's pretty much alone. There's one guy upstairs. Oni has to cover all by himself, but he's unable to provide pretty adequate. He gets Clouds. Michaela hops off, gets Goria, but still upstairs is moved. If he can find this in time, this could be the round. And there it is. 0-0. Fortunately, because there were only 2 men left dealing with 4, they didn't have enough manpower to both cover the plant and stay upstairs, and moved with a very perfect play. We'll put his team up on 2 rounds.
Right. So I think that Pryde definitely had the technical ability there. They had the mechanical ability, if you guys want to call it that. But they were really short when it came to the strategy and the pacing of the round. What I mean by this is that they were not able to capture Cocktail up until about the last minute of the round. It comes down to a really hasty push. They were stalemated a good 30 seconds of that due to the fact that they didn't have any soft breaching. They were not cutting off any rotations of the defenders, and most of all, they weren't even being aggressive. So it had to come down to, trying to drone, trying to figure out where the defenders were. I mean, they got a few picks off of it, but it came down to those 0-0s, because guess what? They just simply were not positioned in the correct places when they were supposed to be, and their strategy kind of fell apart from that. And I think one thing that they could definitely do better with that is quicker pacing, not falling victim to those traps, getting baited out into white like that, losing a soft breacher really early in the round. And, I think that comes down to the leadership and the communication of it all. So that's something they can definitely work on. We know Pryde is a really aggressive team. So for them to do that, it's not necessarily uncharacteristic, but it's something that, once again, they really have to work on.
It's back down to kitchen too. What's up?
So was I completely off there?
What? No. I was just moving on.
You're like,
kitchen is the next site for Emergence as well, starting things, or ending up here where they started things. It was a pretty dominant round after Pryde tried to rush in, got the plant down, but could not keep the retake off of them. So they're going to be going for a much more standard clear, top down. It's kind of what we know the kitchen attack to be. Moved is the one upstairs. There's 2 people below him, Goria and Ben. Clouds and Son of Finn will be the players tasked with holding on to site. Pryde, so far, have gotten a little bit ahead of themselves on this top floor clear, especially last round inside of reading. We can already see one player starting to move up. I thought I saw someone moving up pallets. Whoever it was, I think, backed off after they contested with the Vigil. Goria also aware that there's players outside the mining window, and so far it's pretty slow from Pryde. They've at least successfully pushed the Vigil down a level. Now they've got to be tasked with clearing 3 players all playing on second floor.
Right, and I think that's going to have to be a feat for them to actually be able to do it. We know that their pacing last round was a little bit inconsistent, so it's definitely going to be something that they will have to work with this round. It's going to be a challenge, but that's the whole strategy of it all, right? But yeah, it's nothing really more complex than that, other than the fact that we're going to have to see some strategy moves already from
Just got fried.
Oni just got, oh my gosh, decimated, moved on a double kill. I didn't expect him to be super I just expected him to waste time. I didn't necessarily see that he was going to make those frags. Goria adding on to that, though, on Sam, it's already going to be a 4v2. Pryde is absolutely falling apart. There are only 2 men left. Kayla's going to pick off move. That is a good refrag there, but at what cost at this point? It's a 2v3 right now, 3v1 already. Ben picks off Kyle. Dylan coming in. He's the last player. He does have the diffuser, though, which is already an advantage that you definitely need going into the rest of this round, but you have the rest of the defenders already playing vertical and horizontal on you. So it's not only an uphill battle, but it definitely is a quite seemingly lost one at that.
Yeah, there's no way he wins this round. There's still people off-site. They still have floor holes that we saw that were set up earlier. He's now going to contest with a prone shotgun on a 90-degree angle. Unless he pre-fires this, he's truly a dead man. There's even a camera watching him, and there we go. There's the kill. Son of Finn, very easy. Emergence would take round number 4 off for Rome. That Pryde just seemed lost trying to clear. One vigil top floor. Takes about a minute to shove him down towards reading, and then he decides to get 2 kills. Pryde already down 5v3. Michaela gets the first refrag on Agoria, but not after her teammate gets taken out. Now it's a 2v4, and although they've already killed both the Vigil, or the Jaeger, and killed the Vigil inside of Train, they were woefully unaware of Ben, still inside of reading, and he was able to get Michaela, and from there it was just Dylan, and there was really no way he was going to clutch that out, not with how little time was remaining. Pryde so far not looking good through their roam clear. Leaves a lot to be desired, and their time management has not been great either.
Right, I think I've obviously touched on time management, and I think, you know, let's look at the root of this, right? Roam clear, time management. Why is it not effective? Why is it not efficient? I think we can honestly call this, if we looked at the generalized, you know, we don't know what's going on with Pryde, you know, we don't know their comps, we don't know if they're falling apart from the inside, but I think I can speak for them by saying their droning right now, their intel gathering has been a little bit inconsistent, and on top of that, maybe it's a little bit of their leadership, maybe they're not being led correctly in a way, maybe their IGL hasn't been leading them in the way that he wants them, or maybe something, you know, going on inside is incorrect. We can only really make assumptions because we are, guess what, unbiased casters, but I think that when it comes to roam clear, what's the one thing you need, Pro? What is the one thing you need?
I don't know, there's multiple things.
Okay, 2 things. What are the 2 things you need?
Alright, well, you need intel, you need good comms, and you need people who can shoot. Alright, there's 3.
3.
Those are the 3 things you need.
3 things you need. Okay. 3 things you need. You need to be able to shoot, you need good comms and intel. That's something, one of those things that Pryde has, okay? Can you guess which one?
No. Not by their first 4 rounds.
People that can shoot.
I couldn't tell. Not through the first 4 rounds, at least.
You look at their stats. Their attack, I mean, in their kills, at least, statistically, you see that they have some people that can shoot. It's just that the whole strategy side of it is...
Yeah, I mean, Rizzer and Sam have been, throughout the season so far, pretty good. Michaela is certainly lighting up the scoreboard. She's actually top fragging the lobby. And while we were talking about that stuff, 3 people have died on the defense. Clouds, Ben, and Goria, all trying to contest piano and other areas downstairs, have all gotten a little bit too aggressive, and Pryde are finally showing up on their roam clear. Unfortunately, there for the smoke, he's caught off guard by the 90-degree angle around the balcony. Moved will finally get the first refrag for his team, but it comes in as a 1v5 in ace clutch situation. He's able to get 2. Michaela's head gets popped, but still 3 more for him to find, and they know exactly where he is behind the bar. Oni will finish him off as he was on low HP. Pryde will take round number 5, and they will take their second round, 3-2 now, still in favor of Emergence. They've got 1 round. This will either be a 4-2 half from the defense, which we tend to expect from Kafe, or if Pryde can make the magic happen again, we'll end up even.
I think EMG was a little bit overconfident in that round. They definitely peaked angles and swung things that were a little bit out of their range. And of course, when you do that, Pryde's going to take advantage of that. It's not exactly like Pryde is this, you know, absolutely inconsistent, unorganized team. I mean, they have obvious skill with each other. They have some type of organization and some, mechanical ability. They're obviously, if you give them an inch, they're going to take the mile. So you definitely can't play off those plays, especially sitting under an unreinforced hatch, opening it up, trying to C4, and then getting shot up to crazy, absolutely crazy, for lack of a better word. I think that's the simple analysis of it. We could definitely go more in depth, but EMG definitely were outplayed on their ones, which they were way too aggressive on. Pryde took advantage of this, and I was getting a little bit concerned toward the end there, especially because Pryde was, they were playing very individually. And I believe it was Goria, or was it Moved, who was playing Jaeger in that 1v5?
That was Moved.
Moved. He got it down to a 1v3 because they all rushed him as single players. And I'm glad that they all rushed in 3 people at the same time, otherwise Moved would have easily taken advantage of that, and it would have been another round for EMG.
Yeah, well. Now they're bringing out Clash. Not sure what prompted the change, maybe wanting to slow Pryde down. They were successful on this defense last time, though it did come close. Michaela and Oni, with both armed with ARXs, certainly took it from a 2 versus 4 down to a 1v2. And it just so happened that I think it was actually Moved. It was able to retake the top floor and kill the planter through the floor. So obviously Emergence don't want that to happen again. They're bringing the Clash, opting to slow Pryde down even more. They've, I believe, recognized that so far for Pryde, time management has been a major issue for them so far. And unless Pryde know exactly how to deal with this Clash without a Capitao, then those time management problems could become even worse.
Right, I mean, the only way that you can kill the Clash is essentially by overwhelming her or getting up close to her, which is really hard, especially if the defense has a supporting player with her, which it doesn't actually seem like they do. No, wait, it is Goria. So Goria is trying to help out Son of Finn. Obviously, he's not sitting up there alone, but you can definitely tell that Son of Finn is attempting to bait them out into white, but now he is moving back down as Pryde has taken the opportunity to take up top 4. So I guess the Clash strategy didn't necessarily work. They kind of just moved around her, they didn't really pay attention to her, and she was forced to move back down the stairs. So kind of sad about that.
Yeah, they're not contesting the top floor nearly as heavily this time.
Right.
So I guess Pryde, kudos to you. You've successfully taken all the way into Cocktail without losing a body. And Son of Finn is already going to go down on the Clash. That is not good for the defense as Oni takes out Cloud. So far, Cloud's now remaining killless through the entire first half. Not great from him. Clash is rezzed, though, so although not as healthy, she's still alive, luckily for her, and the team can play around her. Goria will get the first frag for his team. Rizzer goes down, no more Hibana. Of course, Hard Breach, not as big of an investment on Hard Breach for reading. Though if you want to open the pillar wall, that certainly comes in handy, so that's going to be locked off now for this attack. That's a great angle being taken by Sam. He takes a lot of damage for it, but still finds the kill onto Ben, but Moved is able to refrag onto Michaela. G8 down. No C4 from Mute as he checks the default plant spot and positions himself under the balcony, though. It's just a laundry drop and a white push. Goria finds one, traded back, but yet again, here's those time issues. 0 seconds on the clock. That's when Dylan's going to start planting. He's got to hold it for another 7 as the Clash starts closing in. They know exactly where Oni is playing. That means they know where Dylan is, but no, Moved is actually inside of Laundry. Did he just completely miss Dylan? Yeah, he did. Dylan's just in the site. Now it's a 1v1. Oni is down, but being basically just a mobile drone, he can keep calling out for his teammate, and Dylan is not low enough to be zapped to death. The Clash will try the turtle, but hitting the prone is the Thatcher, and he will win the round because when Moved made his rotate, he did not see where the Thatcher was planting in the corner behind that pillar. Beautiful adjustment from Pryde, and though we hit 0-0 by the time the plant started, that misplay by Moved allowed Pryde to win the round. They will take the final round of the half and even us 3-3.
Whoa. That was absolutely crazy. Why did the Clash undo her shield? She
he
could have
figured
just
he
kept
just
on.
had to make a play.
Yeah, he had to make a play. I think that it wasn't a, but they saw it coming, man. They Pryde saw it coming. They saw that the clash was gonna. Because she went behind the wall. I don't know. There wasn't really anything else that you could have done in that situation. Her electric charge was running out, and so was her time on that. She definitely had to do something, and I guess that was her best attempt. It was just losing out your ones. I mean, when you have a burst fire gun like that, burst fire SMG, it can be kind of hard to control the gunfight. However, yeah, you are right. It is now 3-3 going into the role swap. Pryde is now going to be on the defense. I would like to see Pryde. This is what I would like to see for them. I would like to see them control the pace as defenders and slow down Emergence enough, especially on those bottom floor, those middle floor holds, to where they essentially have to do the same thing that Pryde was forced to do, which is make a really hasty push, because that's where the most mistakes come out from Emergence. I know these teams play very similarly, which is why they're definitely on equal footing at this point, 3-3. But this time around, we're going to be seeing a Ying instead. I'm excited for what noise she's going to make. What kind of wave she's going to make in the round. Clouds is going to be on Ying.
I wonder if it'll give him his first kill.
Good one. I mean, he has 4 assists. He's doing stuff for his team, you know. I don't know.
He's hit people.
Yeah, he's definitely... He can't finish his kills. Sorry, Cloud. He can't finish his kills. Moved and Goria are definitely the top performers of Emergence. But I don't think necessarily... I think it was Chief who said this. I don't think necessarily anybody really prevails as, like, the biggest performer on their team. It's just everybody who's trying to, you know, do their own little individual thing and kind of work as a team. And I mean, so far it's been working out at least 3 of the 6 rounds that they've played. But yeah, so we're going to be seeing a middle floor roam from Oni, and he's obviously going to have a C4 in hand, which is going to be interesting because combined with Intel, it's going to be a very deadly combo for potentially Son of Finn. Now, he is on the hard spot, the hard floor of Piano, but once he gets on that wood, he's definitely going to be subject to a C4 from below.
Did his thermite charge get shot? Where'd it go?
I'm not sure.
What?
Yeah, I saw that. Right, and he
That
doesn't have
made
any more. That's weird. Was it through the
Oh no,
floor?
okay. He opened it on red. He picked it up. It looked like it got shot, but I think he just picked it up because he already used one on the red. So that had to be the second one.
Oh.
Moved, we'll get the opener onto Oni, and then for some reason Son of Finn decides it's a good idea to walk into bathroom. That was a boneheaded play, and he will just get shotgun down for his trouble. Great job for to the mute for being able to hold an angle and left click once. Michaela is currently running iron sights on the Alibi, and now she's dead. Cool. All right, Alibi down. 4 versus 3 now for Emergence, as so far their attack has had teeth, with the exception, of course, of Son of Finn just kind of walking to his death. Starting to take control of Cigar and move into Long Bar now that they have that wall open, and here we go. Here comes the Ying. Turns out Clouds, his point of attack will be through the skylight. Second Candela goes out to stun the players inside of Cocktail. First smoke, last Candela. Second smoke, try to get the plant down, but inside of bathroom, the Zofia will fall. Another C4 on the move. The planter now dead. Gory gets a refrag onto I believe that was Sam, but Dylan and Rizzer are still up. They have no more C4s, but it's going to be a 1v2 for this player planting, and there's no more time. Unfortunately, the Ying push does not work out. I don't know what Emergence were doing there.
From a caster perspective, looking at it like first person, it definitely is an interesting round to look at. I think that Emergence, they got a good hold in Piano. It was actually Son of Finn who got a good hold in Piano. I'm going to give it all to him, the entire credit, because nobody else was there with him, except for maybe watching on red. And I think they also knew that Oni was hiding below on the inside of the train, which is definitely good on them, good on their intel. But They did not make the most informed execute. Emergence. I think that, not I think, I know that they did not make the most informed execute. There definitely was something to have been had there when they, you know, were trying to collect intel on the positions of Pryde. It came down to double zeros because they obviously were not able to plant, even though Pryde had a technical disadvantage, if I'm correct, or was that, yeah, they did have a technical disadvantage, if I'm correct, bro. They just wasted time, Pryde.
Yeah, I mean, Emergence just kind of... Pryde was the opening pick, and then Emergence walked into their guns, and then that was kind of... Emergence were able to get some good frags back, but the fact that the entire Ying smoke rush was denied by a single C4 wasn't great. So now we move on. It's Kitchen for Pryde. They take the lead for the very first time in this series, 4-3. Of course, it's nothing huge. Emergence it's very probable that they could potentially come back, but Pryde will hold it for now. Of course, you can see at the bottom left, there's that little mute jammer symbol signaling us that the thermite charge will be stopped, but the EMP goes out. There we go. Breach shall be opened. And now you've got the bakery wall. Avenue has been achieved for the attack. You know, get those long sight lines down. Next step would be, at least if they want to, would be to take the top floor, take these roamers out, as Pryde will be happy to just sit up here, look through their floor holes, and deny you any kind of entry into the site.
Right, I think this is the point where Emergence is going to have to prove if they're going to be stalemated or if they're actually going to try for an execute. It would be very, once again, ill-informed if they were to just walk into the objective and try to make the plant, because you know that Pryde would have a very easy time making the rotations and getting the easy kills on Emergence in order to allow them to win out that round. So yeah, it's definitely the next move in this is, for example, moved to take the middle floor. And that's going to be the first move that Emergence... Michaela! I keep messing it up. Michaela is going to be the unfortunate loser of that battle. Castle gets taken out.
It's just Castle, though. Her utility's already down, so it's not a big loss, and there we go. Right into a crossfire. Goria falls for their trap. Fortunately, 7-7, not the world-eating performance that we're used to. Again, here comes the aggressive Ying push. Candela's go in, but it'll not only blind the defenders in the backside, it'll also blind the thermite. He gets in, he'll start planting behind the bomb chassis, but Dylan finds clouds, and unfortunately, all the intel in the world there for the defense is Dylan has actually retaken Bakery. I don't know where from, probably through Small Bake, but whoever was on flank watch duty there, not doing their job. Now it's a 2 versus 4. Diffuser control has been sacrificed. There's still people upstairs as Ben gets a great wall bang onto Sam. I don't know how he knew he was there, but he did. Moved as well into coat check. Rizzer goes down, back to even man count, but Dylan will persist just inside of Bakery. If anyone tries to pick up the diffuser and goes for that default plant spot, they will be collapsed upon, and unfortunately there for Ben, he will even trade with the mute, and Oni finds the last kill. Pryde with round number 8, as yet again, Emergence, not enough control to go for that Ying execute, over-reliance on the inconsistent flashes, no top floor take, nothing going for them at all. It's an easy defense for Pryde, and they now take a 2-round lead.
They simply did not have enough area control. They did not have enough footholds into the actual map itself. You could definitely see that Moved was attempting to find his way through the middle floor. They thought they had security. It was more of like a false pretense, and then everything went chaotic once they tried to move into the objective because Pryde had this superior intel on Emergence. They knew what flanks they had to make. They knew the hole in the defense of the attack, if that makes any sense. They knew how to get around them and outplay them in every single situation because they had not been outplayed previously. They had not been roam cleared. They had not been found in their positions. Nothing was done to actually set up the execute for Emergence other than the actual hard breach. And that's honestly, and I use this word sparingly because I hate saying this, and I know Pond would hate me saying this too, but it was kind of a rank strategy, if you think of it. They didn't really
Yeah, that was a we're gonna put all our eggs in one basket and see if it works. Like the top floor clear wasn't even a clear. They just walked in and held angles and.
They tried to cut off rotations, but they didn't know what rotations were happening. It was very chaotic.
It's weird for Emergence right now. They don't look the strongest on their attacks. Cloud's still killless. The only player in the lobby who's still killless. Now it's reading. Pryde, of course, looking to go for that flawless site rotation. 3 rounds in a row would be ideal for them. It would also put them on map point. And holding a 3-round lead on map point is nearly unlosable unless the attacking team decides that they're going to stop tossing and they're just going to beat you at every turn. Otherwise, this should be... If Pryde win this round, in my mind, that should be the map. Of course, we have to actually get through the round first. It's pretty aggressive upstairs hold, and just players not just in Cocktail, but you've also got Sam contesting Cigar as well as the Red Wall. You can hear players dropping. In fact, there's 3.
Oh.
What? All right, Moved is dead. Sam will get refragged as we were distracted by the double Claymore from, I guess they're trying to bait a defender into being like, okay, I shot the first Claymore, I'm okay to move up now, and then the lasers hit him anyway. That's definitely interesting and something that I have not personally
It's a new strategy. You know, they were saving the strats.
I guess, and apparently Michaela got caught with her scanner out or something. She looked like she didn't even shoot back there. Son of Finn, he's left on half HP, but he's able to take out the pulse, and now a lot of intel for the defense on this top floor hold is gone. That's a C4 from below as well, no longer available. 3 versus 4. Dylan has floor holes, though. If Son of Finn walks in, he's surely a dead man. Rizzer displaying the Rima dash as he tries to rotate through the double door. Oni taking a lot of damage downstairs as well. Dylan tabbing away at the feet of Son of Finn, but can't get enough shots on the Ash to actually down and finish her off. So Emergence will still hold the man advantage. I believe Son of Finn's bullet holes just got spotted there, and he'll take even more damage, but still not be finished off. So all you really got going for you right now, if you're Pryde, is the fact that the Oryx is still upstairs, and judging by the pre-fires from Emergence, they have absolutely no clue, and there we go, there's 1 kill. Goria goes down, Oni able to refrag onto Clouds, but Rizzer is finally finished off as he was down in that engagement. HP just about even for these last 4 players. Dylan and Ben still at full, Oni and Son of Finn at just about 1 shot's worth of HP. Though, of course, if it's an even man count, even HP count, and the time starts ticking away, that only serves to benefit the defense of Pryde. No C4 on the board, though, so if this does come down to a plant situation, they have no indirect denial, and they'll have to go for the swings. Oni is still inside of 90. Dylan hugging the bomb chassis as the last 2 attackers drop inside of Pillar. We'll have to fight against the player inside of Laundry as the doorway could be easily cut off. Dylan will whip out the shotgun, waiting for the aggressive push, but none will come. The upstairs presence is where Oni will try and make his stand, but Dylan takes out 1. Dylan with 2. Excellent double swing there, killing the cover and killing the player coming off the plant to try and get the trade, and that is map point for Pryde.
Map point indeed. Match point. Yeah, match point. So I think there's a lot of angles to look at this from, and honestly, I was expecting Emergence to win it out, being that Pryde, their roam was dispatched of completely dominated within the first about minute of the round. They were kind of caught with their pants down, and it definitely showed. But it actually happened to be that Pryde took advantage of it. They played out their angles correctly. They swung on the right things. It was more of like a game sense, communication, and intel triad. And I also have to say that you can tell that Pryde is a lot more organized just looking at that round as a whole. Emergence fell apart when they were trying to make the execute. They did not know how to deal with post-plant. They did not know how to cover each other's angles. The communication was not there. The intel was not there. When you get swung on by an SMG-11, 2 people got swung on by an SMG-11. With the same mag, you know it's bad. They did not shoot back.
Yeah, Dylan's been popping off. He's 11-4 right now.
Yeah, I mean, it speaks highly of Dylan because he clicked heads right there. That was absolutely amazing, right? But I think...
Did he get
I don't know.
three kills?
He probably did.
I don't remember if Yeah, I don't remember if those were his first 2 in the round or if he had one before that. Gory is also negative. The player who's usually carrying Emergence through their games is not having a standout performance against Pryde. But we'll see if Emergence are able to make this comeback. They'll have to start here. Any slip-ups at all and it will result in a loss of the map, and they'll have to do it 3 rounds in a row. Pretty difficult already, especially with how defender-favored Kafe tends to be sometimes. It is Bar as well. A site where they had tried to Ying Rush wholly unsuccessfully. Of course, they no longer have the Ying. It's going to be a lot more standard affair. They'll open the red wall, set up their flank watch on the stairs of the Claymore. They'll Iana out just for a little bit more of extra intel, but the majority of the defense is situated in your standard anchor positions. Bathroom, freezer, cocktail, and one below playing for the C4, and that's going to be Oni.
I just have to wonder about the Yana pick. Why not something like a Buck?
Nades.
Nades, you think?
They don't feel the need to take a Maverick, and Sledge is gone, so you gotta bring nades. So they'll just opt for the Iana, because the Iana you still have intel.
Well, let's say I'm Kitchen, for example, where vertical play is, like, huge.
That I don't know. They haven't really put a lot of emphasis in the top floor. I mean, neither team really has throughout this whole map. They kind of did it with breaching charges earlier, but that's never... I mean, you're right, that's never as efficient, but hey, if they can take the breaching charges and free up an operator pick for someone else, then more power to them. Unfortunately for Sam, his bullet holes are going to get spotted out. Goria will find the first frag, and there's a double up from his team as Michaela goes down as well. Now a 3 versus 5. Pryde, for the first time in a while, going to be fighting from behind. Goria's going to get lit up by that pallet's pressure. I believe a shield still persists inside of there, and a C4 goes out from Oni, not finding anything, and the only C4 left, stuck inside a bathroom, will go down. Dylan has now been finished off. Valkyrie trying to move up against Goria will... not win the fight against the pistol. He's 1 HP. Brizzer, you gotta hit your shots now. The plant is going down from Ben. Oni has intel, but there's nothing he can do about it. He tries to fire up through the floor in desperation with the Roni. They can't find the kill. It's only a tiny bit of damage. It's a 1v5 post-plant as Emergence seem to have figured out what was wrong with their previous attacks. There's really no chance for Oni in this round at all. It looks like he's still going to give it his best go, or... no, it looks like he's going to chill into mining, talk about it with his team, figure out what the hell went wrong in that round, and ensure that they don't drop the next 2 rounds after this.
Effective tactical timeout, if you would like to call it that. Stop baiting, Ben. But yeah, I think it was more of what Emergence did right than what Pryde did wrong. Definitely, Emergence played a lot more aggressive, and they took their pacing very well. They did not spare a single second trying to make the execute. Their plant was very successful, and they got the kills to support it. Right? Emergence is a very frag-heavy team, and when they do get the frags as a team, they happen to win. It's not just like, you know, it's one side or the other. It's, you know, when you get the frags, you can combine it easily with the strategy, and the strategy prevails. Then you don't need to do so much. But they already got it down to a 5v2. A 5v1, as a matter of fact. 5v2 by the time the plant went down. And you could tell the round was over by then. However, if they can get a good set of rounds just like that one, where they play aggressively, they win their ones, you know, they outplay simply Pryde in their best performance, they might be able to win this. Now, how this round is different from the previous round, we still have the Yana. And like I said, I beg the question, Yana playing when this is such a soft breach heavy site, and the attack can take so much advantage of that. The attack really likes to play horizontally. It seems like Emergence really does better horizontally on this site specifically. When they, you know, take control of the bakery, they open up the wall, it's a lot of hard breaching, but they don't really do best against the vertical pressure from Pryde, because Pryde already maintains their presence. Nothing is done to combat Pryde sitting up on the second floor, which is absolutely huge, and that's why you need somebody like Buck to do the soft breaching for you and to play vertically. you don't really have that. And Yana, I mean, yeah, she could be used for roam clear, but has she been? Not necessarily.
Yeah, their roam clear has not really had the teeth that a roam clear needs.
Right.
And that might be a struggle, since Pryde are roaming pretty heavily, just like they did on their last defense of Kitchen. They've got the floor holes open. They've got all the castle barricades set up to protect these roamers, as well as I think one is downstairs. But otherwise, a lot of these castle barricades are used to facilitate the second floor roam. And you've got 3 people up here that have pretty easy fallback to the site. So you can tell Emergence are going for it by the drones and by the fact that literally no one is pushing the first floor right now. They're dividing their entire attention to this roam, which is definitely a welcome change if you're an Emergence fan. They still have to pin down Rizzer, holding by White Stairs, Sam inside of Dining, and Michaela inside of Train. The hatch will be open. Thermite going to dedicate one of his oh-so-important hard breaches to the Train hatch, making Michaela's position a little bit more exposed. Sam also getting shot up a little bit through the wall, though it's nothing major. There's a player on White who could easily cut Sam's rotation off, and Michaela, despite the open hatch, is just going to persist inside of Train. It doesn't look like there's any attackers actually challenging it, but here comes Son of Finn, a very aggressive push through Reading, but for some reason he decides he's going to press the issue. He'll get killed. He's traded out, though, by Goria. Now it's a 4 versus 3. Michaela is the only roamer left still standing. That's going to broadcast her location, but Ben goes down to Oni down on the site. Michaela holding a very nice angle will pick off Goria. There's someone still inside the hatch and one inside of Mining who she will not be able to find. Now it's moved in clouds against Oni and Dylan, the 2 support players against the 2 anchors. And just by looking at the utility, this is in the favor of Pryde. There is no way for Emergence to clear the Evil Eyes, and there's still a C4 in the pocket of Dylan, the man who's currently on double digits, along with Moved. Luckily, they've still got a single drone with which to gather intel, and unfortunately, it'll be shot immediately. It remains to be seen if there's a signal jammer on the freezer wall. No, there is not. They'll be able to open it pretty freely. Now they have the avenue into the site that they need, but the Pryde members are holding a crossfire on the freezer. If Evil Cloud steps out, he's likely a dead man against Dylan. Dylan's just going to hold the window, wait for the Nomad to jump, and that is an easy pick for the mute. Here comes the refrag, but Oni has his teammate covered. Pryde, an excellent stack up in the 2v2. They take round 11, and they'll take the map 7-4.
Absolutely beautiful game. I think that was an amazing showing of Pryde's ability, and we'll be getting into our second match shortly. However, we're going to pass it on to somebody, and that's going to be the analyst. Am I correct?
Oh, we don't have analysts today.
No analysts?
Rip.
All right.
We don't need him.
We don't need him. We don't need him.
Goria went from negative to dropping 12 kills. But yeah, so no analyst desk. So instead of doing that, we're going to fill time by cutting to a break instead. So we will see you in just a little bit. Don't go anywhere. We've got map 2 after this. It will be, I believe, Emergence's pick of Villa, if I'm not mistaken. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this short break.
attackers need to locate and defuse bombs. You can stop worrying. 10 seconds to insertion. 5 seconds to go. Attackers are moving out to locate the bomb and defuse it.
New camera feed up and running.
Nameless fraggers that, you know.
Why?
Drive.
Okay.
Valkyrie going down.
Like you have a clash. What do you?
I know.
All right. Despite having a
This
clash,
is
they're like, hey, you know what? Let's
tragic.
contest master. And it doesn't work. Valkyrie is already dead. That's a C4 off the board. We know how important C4 is on this site in particular because the plant spots are pretty safe as far as all things are considered. You know, because you can plant behind vault door, you can plant behind the table. That I know Carter likes to call that risk. And I mean, there's really no way anyone's going to be able to swing you, not if you have proper cover from your teammates. So the fact that they just tried to play that aggressively and come away the losers in that engagement is a little bit worrying.
Right. It kind of begs the question, is that going to be the entire theme of the round, or is Emergence going to get their shit together, for lack of a better word, get their stuff together and try to win this out? Goria, however, opens the line of kills for EMG. He picks up the first kill on Mac. Goria picks up a second, though, onto Sam from a long shot with the Hollow, may I add. Props to him. And now he's possibly going to be going on a 3-man rampage. He is on fire. Ben picks up another one, though. You can definitely tell Emergence is very mechanically gifted in these situations. Oni and Rizzer are left to defend themselves. The soft breachers at hand. The fraggers, who are now getting pushed and prodded out of their positions. This is going to be an engagement between Oni and Goria, and Oni comes out victorious.
So far, Pryde did an excellent job dealing with the roam, and the clash isn't really what's been winning these players the round.
Woo!
Wow, that is alright. Z-ping is a fair and fun mechanic. Ben goes down from below because Rizzer can just point and click. Diffuser is not in the attacker's control, though if they can kill moved, this round is pretty much over. A clash in a clutch situation is not the operator you want at all. Move does have C4. He could find a free pick on one of these two, and Sonofin will call out that there's a player pushing by books. Both of these attackers trying to move through by bar, and there we go. The Kaid loses the fight. Now it's just Clash. Oni trying to move up. The Clash does not have a safe spot to try and take the shield out. She's being meleeed. She's being hammered. There's the attempt at the turtle, but Rizzer finishes her off with the pistol. Pryde will take round one despite the attempt at a clapback from Goria, and I believe it was Ben.
It was Ben on the Legion. He added to the kill feed, but it was not enough. It kind of was back and forth, honestly. Emergence lost a player, then Pryde lost a player, then Emergence lost a few players, and Pryde lost a lot of players, and it ended up going in favor of Pryde. It was kind of a cluster of events happening, kills going on and off the board. You couldn't really tell who was the precise victor by the end, but it did end up being Pryde, who were on the attack first. So I guess this speaks volumes for that first strategy of EMG. They tried something with Clash, obviously did not work out, being that Velk got taken off the board first. That was kind of a really bad indecisive move from EMG. They really didn't play their cards right, but in the end, you know, it kind of shows them they can't really play Clash in this situation. They might not even be able to play Valkyrie, which is a person they're not playing now. They're going to be going back to AVG, though, and trying their hand with something slightly different. So no Velk, no Clash, just a Smoke, Mozzie, Kaid, Vigor, and Goodness.
Yeah, I don't really know why they're not bringing the Valkyrie. I mean, I guess it didn't really help the last round. They're shoving themselves back into denial. You got the Mozzie for the drone denial. You've got the Kaid for the wall denial. You got Smoke and Malusi for lane denial. And of course, you have the Jaeger for projectile denial. So really nothing working for the defense, everything on their lineup working against the attack, which is definitely an interesting philosophy. Usually you have someone who's more of a support, like, you know, you have the either the Valkyrie with the cams. If Echo is up, you have the Echo, you have Mira who can play the windows, even the Clash as an intel operator that they combine with the Valkyrie. Not quite sure why they dropped both their intel operators, but I mean, if they can effectively just deny Pryde any sort of headway, then they don't really need the intel. They can just sit and watch the doorways and wait.
Right, and I mean, thinking about this analytically, Pryde is a really aggressive team, so if they can end up getting stalemated, that's going to work in EMG's hand very well. So we'll have to think about that going throughout this round. But yeah, now on there's going to be 90 presence from Ben, which is something definitely to be expected, but something that's also going to have to be played very skillfully, being that he's probably going to receive pressure from the window. Not only from the window, but from both of his sides. Right there, he's going to come into his first engagement. He takes a lot of damage, but retreats back to the objective. That is immediate control of highway, lowway for Pryde, with about 2 minutes left on the clock already. So, stopping Pryde in action didn't necessarily work for EMG. And now they're going to have to be playing on the back foot.
I just noticed Rizzo's running the AUG. That's weird.
Oh.
Goria's inside of study, not droned out. He finds one and is able to swing onto Michaela. No refrag coming out at all for this attack. Goria looking like he wants to one-man army on Villa, something that we sorely missed on Kafe and could definitely be attributed to Emergence's pretty handed loss. 7-4 is not necessarily a dominant scoreline, but it's not necessarily a close one either. Now Pryde down 2 men. Looks like they'll be down 3 as Rizzer hits the floor, and he'll be finished off with the pistol. That was actually through the drone hole. Rizzer unfortunately ignorant of the angles, and now it's a 2 versus 5. It's just Sam and Dylan to try and clutch things out. They got a minute to do it with, but they've got to find, I mean, they've got an average of about 20 seconds to find each one of these kills, and you've still got Goria inside of study. You've still got 4 men in the site itself with plenty of utility. No more gas grenades, but you've still got 2 C4s, one with Sam's name on it, one with Dylan's. And as soon as Pryde try to push in and go for this plant, they'll likely be met with those explosive surprises. You've even got a player on the main stairs, basically flank watching for the defense at this point. Sam has 1 impact left in his pocket that he could use to dispose of the Banshee with, but he doesn't want to reveal his location too early. He's trying to bait someone to peek him by Classical Hall, but finally he'll whip out the utility. There goes the Banshee and the barbed wire with a quick peek. He cannot find the head of the Malusi. He looks away. That's when they decide to peek. Moved, gets taken off the board, but he's down and traded out by Ben, and it's just Dylan in a 1v4. He cannot even find Son of Finn. Emergence will take round number 2. We are tied up 1-1.
Indeed, we are. Goria, the man of the hour, he got that 2K right at the beginning and essentially shut down all the pressure coming from Study. He picked up one on balcony. He also picked up one who was repelling. Great game sense, great overall mechanical skill. Nothing really wrong in the way of Emergence. They played that out very well, although I feel that they did give up their position very willingly, going down highway, lowway, but it ended up playing in their favor anyways when Goria picked up those kills by Study. It kind of pushed Pryde back and forced them to reevaluate their play and have to, you know, they had to move back a little bit. But yeah, that's all I got to say about that. There isn't too much else.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
So yeah. Not next round.
Wait, how did Goria just... Oh, I think Legion hit him with a Goon Mine. Emergence not defending trophies, standard rotation so far. They're going for a Study Roam, or an AVG extension. Something that we usually see, you know, it's not uncommon at all. You'll likely see both the Vigil, either the Vigil and the Mozzie or the Vigil and the Jaeger. Usually you don't want to dedicate too much over there, because if the attackers clear you, you lose a lot of manpower that you can't use on the site. If the attackers don't and just go to Master, then you have to have all your roamers fall back, and they could be easily susceptible to any kind of flank wash that the attackers have established. It'll appear that it's actually 4 people still on site. Goria Or sorry, yeah, Goria is going to be the only roamer, leaving it all up to him on the Mozzie. See if he can keep these attackers at bay, armed with only a Roni.
I have full trust in him. That P10 Roni is going to get him places. It already has. I mean, this man is a literal powerhouse. He could take down the entire team 5v1. I love this man. Goria is a legend. He's really good.
Oh, he's
However, Ben is going to be helping him out, but both of them get taken down in one big swing from Sam. Sophia. Unfortunate.
So, Goria took the engagement, fell off, and as he turned his back and walked away, he thought Ben had his cover, but Ben was spraying at the window and not the guy moving through the doorway. So, Sam shot Goria in the back, saw the tracers from Ben, killed Ben too, and now it's a 5v3 for Pryde. Excellent roam clear as Emergence just, I mean, I can't say they didn't shoot back, because Ben definitely shot back a lot, but it didn't really mean anything. That is a fantastic go from Son of Finn. Sam is going to get absolutely destroyed, so Son of Finn will get, I guess, his revenge on his two fallen comrades from earlier, though he does take a significant beating from it, and they still are not able to claw back the man advantage.
Right? Indeed, yeah, that man advantage. There's gonna have to be some big moves coming out of EMG. You see Moved himself is trying to pull off a flank. Question is, will it be significant enough to find the great equalizer? We'll just have to see. Once he takes out that Nomad air jab, though, all hell breaks loose in its simplicity. He knows that either he's gonna have to make a move, or he's gonna have to fall back. And so he falls back. Indeed, without taking out that air jab. He tries to find another way around, but it most likely will be all for naught, being that Nomad hopefully at least has all of their sides covered. However, the execute will begin. It's already a two moved in Evil. The last remaining players, we see Rizzer coming up on Evil. Will he get the drop? He will indeed. That's already a 1v2 moved, having to make a hasty rotation back to the objective. He's going to try to find Oni and Rizzer off guard. However, Rizzer knows that he's coming up. It is going to be Rizzer to finish off our round for moved.
Vigil got killed shooting an air jab. So sad.
I know.
And it's another round for Pryde. They now lead 2-1 off that attack. First, it was a excellent study roam. The push nearly fell flat on its face. They had gone, what was that? One for two on their trades, trying to push into trophy. Fortunately for the attackers, though, Rizzer had pushed himself all the way up into Astro, caught the Legion, and like we said, unfortunately for the Vigil, shooting that air jab and then having to rotate away was a massive time commitment, and it was time that the rest of his team did not have. Coming back way too late, air jab already set up for the flank watch, and he was caught with his pants down trying to shoot it. So 2-1 now for the attackers, and Emergence, unlike AVG, will opt not to try trophy again. They'll go downstairs to dining, where they got to roam above. And so far, every time they've roamed, Pryde have dealt with it swiftly.
Right. And here's another big thing. Sledge was picked. I was getting a little bit worried that the Jackal pick was actually going to be permanent. But no, it ended up being Sledge. And you know what this means? It means Kool-Aid Man's making a comeback. It means that he's going to be doing a lot of home renovation. It's free real estate for Pryde at this point. Emergence doesn't even know how to deal with the roam clear from Pryde. They know that they don't even need a Jackal to facilitate a roam clear, and that they can just gun their way through, and that they'll be fine. And so Emergence, they're already on the back foot, picking dining. They're not at odds to win this out, because we know from the past that, like you said, the roam clear, or the roam specifically, has not been very, well, positioned, well, in general. So Emergence is either going to have to switch something up if they want to waste time for Pryde, or they're going to be giving up top floor, which is going to cut off a lot of space for Emergence in their kitchen.
Goria Swiss cheesed the wall into Astro. That was interesting. I have not seen people do that in a while. I know that was a chaos thing in the EUL back in a couple seasons ago. They would always do that. And I guess Goria figures it'll work for him. So Emergence have set up for the roam. They've got 2 men up top. It's the Mute and the Jaeger. Goria and Moved, the 2 top fraggers from the previous map. And Sam, okay. Sam is going to walk in with no intel. Okay. Moved is happily going to take his head off, so first frag goes the way of the defense. Goria has also repositioned himself inside a Master, and then for some reason Moved decides he's going to swing a G8 with the SMG-11 and rightly lose that fight. It was a long angle being taken. Now Goria is going to get even more aggressive to try and make up for lost time. He is going to get droned out, so the attackers know exactly where he's coming from. He's going to rotate down the Astro stairs, and he'll be able to get away scot-free. This roam has only wasted half the round. They've gone 1 for 1. You've killed the Zofia, but the Sledge is still up, Hard Breach is still up, and the Nomad's air jabs are still up. So you trade out a C4 for Zofia. That's not really an advantage for the defense, I'd say. I'd say that would be pretty even. And moving into the latter half of this round, that's of course not what you want if you're the defense. You want every advantage that you can garnish. Now inside of Pantry, Son of Finn will position himself. He already 1 charge of Hivana charges has been shot off, and until that player is flushed out, they'll just continue to destroy them. There's still 1 C4 on the side of the defense. It's in the pocket of Cloud as he looks up towards the ceiling, trying to pinpoint where this Sledge is hammering and meet him with the C4 from below and make him stop, but he's actually positioned inside of China, so really nowhere close. Ben, though, no explosive needed. He just takes the fight through the floorboard. Down goes Oni, and there goes the man count for Pryde. They now trail 4-3. Goria can hear the air jab. That's why he's tentatively looking around, waiting for this Astro flank. It's just around the corner to his right. If he peeks out a little bit too far, though, he'll be met with the blowback. You can see it, though, and he'll be able to go for this flank. Whether or not the attackers heard it is a different story. There's a double stack up inside of Laundry, a flank going down from Rizzer, but from the hatch, pressure from Goria will find one. He's traded out, but now it's just the Nomad with 2 seconds left, and there is no way he wins this round. Don't even need the kill. Emergence take round 4 and tie us up yet again.
You know, I was so excited for that Sledge demolition, and it didn't even further anything for Pryde. I'm really sad about that. I am, because I was expecting a world of hurt for Emergence going into that round, but it didn't even end up doing anything because Pryde didn't even act on it. That's the tragedy of it all. Pryde, they used all of their resources, all of their tools to facilitate something, but they did not act on anything. They did not have the correct intel, they did not have the pacing, they did not have the time in their hands. And so what happens? They have to do that really quick execute that's going to cost them absolutely everything and leave holes in their attack, which is exactly what happened. We saw Goria. He came from the hatch. He got 1 kill, he got fragged out, but it was enough. It was enough to completely stop, to halt the attack, and there was definitely not enough done to clear out all of the resources set up in the objective itself. They just did not get enough time. I mean, let's say they had another 30 seconds in their hands, I think that they could have mounted a pretty good execute, but of course we know that they didn't, and we know that their pacing in general was just a little bit off that round. That's all I can say.
5 seconds left.
So yeah, while Crow clacks on his keyboard.
Yeah, I was responding to someone.
Responding to someone while he's casting.
Of course, I always do that. I do that during CL.
Oh my god.
I have to respond to people. I don't like having unread messages. It bothers me. That's why, I don't understand why people have, I've seen people with, thousands of Discord pings. I clear pings as soon as I get them. I never leave them unread, because it bothers me. I don't get how people can leave it alone.
How?
They're freaks.
Do not disturb.
I have do not disturb on.
But you don't.
I can see the ping, and it bothers me. So. But, again, Roam from Goria, he's not even going to bother engaging. He's just going to flush back. He's just going to run away. I mean, he's 50 seconds in, and, you don't lose your life, so that's another body on site that the defense can use. Moved is downstairs inside of Art Studio, just waiting for someone to run into his line of sight. I guarantee if you're an attacker and you're running over towards Study Balcony, at least if you're doing it from the master side of things, you probably wouldn't expect a Malusi standing in the barricade watching you. And there we go. Just as I said, Michaela trying to rotate over towards Study and use her utility on the Study wall. She runs over from the Master side. There she is on the steps, and you will lose your hard breach first.
Right, it's the same exact thing that happened, I believe, in one of the first rounds, where Gorio took advantage of that. You're definitely right. So as unfortunate as it is, it does
what was that
end
pre-fire?
up being the... Whoa. Yeah, you're right. What was that? Hit his shots, man. Hit your shots.
That was like miles above the... I don't know. That was weird. All that really did for Clouds was broadcast his location. Here comes the prone in behind Risk for the planter, or not even the planter, for Rizzer. The G8 player is snaking around. He sees one player by the vault. He'll see the Mozzie, but instead opts to just keep engaging the player inside the right side of the vault. There's the smoke canister, and through the smoke, Rizzer will find the kill, but not before two of his teammates fall. Rizzer gets another kill, but Sam's been down. There's a third for Rizzer. He's on a heater, and now it's just Goria. Sam can also pick himself back up because he is Zofia, but Gorio can see the IQ from around the corner, and Sam is solo HP. The pre-fire is easy for the Jaeger. Emergence will take round number 5 despite Rizzer's 3K.
Rizzer almost wrecked that round, but Goria, he came back, and he fueled the fire to win EMG. Not being toxic, but good night. Good night. Good night, Rizzer. Good night, Pryde. Good night, the entire team. That's a tragedy.
Good night, Moon.
Good night, Rizzer, Oni, Sam, Mac, Dylan. This might actually end up being a 4-2 split or a 3-3 split. This could be huge going into EMG's their attack rounds. Being that we know Villa statistically as
that is an Echo.
Defense side.
I thought I was seeing things. I forgot Echo's back in play. Okay, so remember when I was talking? Remember I was talking about how the defense before was bringing denial upon denial, nothing really working for them, just against the attackers. Now you've got both in the Echo. You got plant denial and you've got intel in spades. The only thing is that with his recent nerf, you're no longer invisible. Echo is going to be a lot more of a skillful operator to try and use because you can't just stick it on the ceiling and not have to place it wisely. I mean, as long as it sees the plant spot, I mean, it's invisible. Unless you're really looking in the right spot and looking for the yokai, it's really easy to just gloss over. There is an IQ, of course. Rizzer is playing that operator.
Who better to play a skillful operator like Echo than the IGL himself?
Oh,
the man, the myth, the legend. Son of Finn.
I don't know, he was IGL. Nice. So he's going to be working in tandem. Not only does he have intel, but Moved, Clouds, and Ben all have intel denial. So Pryde likely to be Alright, okay, there goes Echo.
Never mind. Never mind.
Why? Why, man?
Never mind.
Why would you peek that? Why, in all your years of playing this game, would you ever peek that? As Echo! Like, do it with Vigil or Jaeger! This isn't year 2. You're not 6-cot. You're not gonna spawn peek as Echo every round. Alright, that's upsetting.
5 Son of Finn, man.
First time I've seen Echo after he's let back in, and I don't even get to see the Echo.
Doesn't even spawn in, man. Doesn't even spawn in. What is this? 4v4. Garia picks up 1. It's not gonna be enough to repay the feelings that I feel over losing Son of Finn.
Now all of Emergence is dead.
I feel lost.
What was that? 2 kills for Oni and 1 for Dylan. There was 1 refrag from Gloria and 1 refrag from Moved, taking out Oni downstairs, and now it's a 1v3. It's just Dylan planting. And now it's a post plant because Move can't do anything about it. Intel starved right now is the Vigil because I doubt Son of Finn could actually put his Yokais in a decent location to help the team considering how early he died. And Moved is on 1 HP. This is going to be a very tall task and he'll just be cut off from the 90 player of Rizzer. Pryde take round number 6. The IQ will start things off and end the round. It's a 3-3 half. God, that was stupid.
God, he's shaking. He's shaking, he's shaking.
That round was stupid.
Oh man, now we don't get to see the echo being played.
I mean, maybe Pryde do it.
Maybe Pryde do it. No. Check this guy Moss, he's cheating. Nah, I don't see it happening. Doc's gonna be played. They must really want that, well, he doesn't even get the ACOG anymore, does he?
Maybe he can, no, he doesn't.
He gets the
Mute,
2.5,
okay.
is it?
Castle, okay. Oh no, they're 6ing off the sledge.
Oh, no to the Yana, not the Yana again.
Alright,
Oh, no,
we have a castle now. No
man.
sledge to deal with it. You're gonna have to use your projectiles if you're the attackers. You have, I mean, you have Hibana. With the new Hibana
Or you
change,
just
you don't really
500
need the
IQ it and
sledge.
just walk into the objective as Yana. Come on.
Sorry, you could. The Hibana changes too, like, cause you can like do the different modes. Instead of having to like shoot a whole thing at X5s, you can just do 2 and clear the castle barricades, especially on this site where you don't really need all that hard breaching. I can definitely see it. Of course, you also have Ashe and Zofia. Ashe, who has 3 breaching rounds. I mean, Ashe can pretty much clear castle by herself now. So, I mean, you know, losing the sledge isn't the biggest deal in the world. Doc is definitely interesting from Sam. Usually, when you see Doc or Rook being played, now with the difference, like, the real difference between the two operators are being the sites. Rook has a 2.5, or Rook has the 2 times, Doc is the 1.5. If the defense is just playing them for the site, in the past patches, they would play the Doc over the Rook, just because Doc is better. Now, if you're playing it for the extra zoom, you play the Rook. You're only really going to play the Doc if you have some specific thing that you want to go for in mind. So I'm wondering how Sam is going to play this. Oni taking very aggressive stance inside of Master Bedroom. He'll watch Goria vault in, light him up with just 1 bullet, and then dip, leaving Rizzer all alone to try and hold this down by himself. But no, Rizzer will fall back as well, down the stairs, and they'll retreat back to the site.
That's a smart move from Pryde, being that, you know, you lost one of your counterparts to your roam, and you gotta kind of take a step back and play it a little bit more passively. You know, they're trying to get back to the objective. Already 1 minute has been lost to time. And it becomes Oni. He's now going to try to get a power play position in the 90 hallway.
A bomb has been located.
And hopefully a power play indeed. We know that he took a very aggressive position, leveled down the health of Goria, and now the next player who's going to take a shot at it is Ben. He's going to try to move his way down 90 as well. Go down the, I believe it's called low way. And so we know that the side of the push is going to be from our north side going into our south side. And Trophy and Landing and Boar and all of those different places. So let's go.
Son of Finn's going to take a significant amount of damage trying to open up the vault wall. Easily impact trickable if someone is in place to do it, but I think that's the castle inside of vault, so Michaela won't have a say as her position will slowly start to be exposed. You can hear the hard breach rattling out. No jammer under that door because, of course, the mute was 6 picked off of. There's the Doc falling. Unfortunately, Sam will find no use of that operator. Sophia will just take his head clean off, and unfortunately, you can't heal a headshot. Great kill by Ben there. And they might have just gotten the opening into the site that they need. Michaela can see Goria's feet through the drone hole, but will only be able to light up the Ashe, not finish her off. And 30 seconds left will mean that Dylan is going to start to throw out his gas canisters. He's got 2 left in his pocket, 25 seconds remaining. You can delay about 10 seconds, maybe a little bit more with each of them if you space them out properly, but you don't have any more C4. on the side of the defense. Once these smoke canisters are gone, you're done with your indirect denial. Last gas canister goes out now with 12 seconds left as Oni finds the first frag for his team onto Son of Finn. Down goes the Hibana, but Clouds is just going to try and stick the plant. Goria gets a kill onto Michaela, and he'll, using that Vault pressure, find another one. Ben tags onto Rizzer. It's just Oni, and unfortunately, they castled off site, so he can't get back in, and through those open study walls, Moved will find the final frag. Emergence will take round number 7 handedly.
A lot of ones won and a lot of footholds into the objective made, and even some of the defender utility used against them. We saw that Oni was not able to get back into the objective because of, unfortunately, the castle. Castle was not necessarily misplaced, but definitely not in a advantageous position for Oni attempting to rotate back onto the objective. So what happens? He loses it out. But before that, we did see a lot of, swinging angles, a lot of intel gathering, maybe some misplaced positions from Pryde. All out, it was definitely not their round. They lost a good bit of power off of the bat, and for that, we allowed Emergence to essentially gain a lot of area control, a lot of map control on the top floor, which is huge for Villa, to say the least. Villa, once you inundate or overwhelm or surround, whatever you want to call it, Aviator, it becomes such an easy game to play. It's basically just plant, pick off rotations, shoot. Best way to do it.
That was... Pryde boxed themselves in. I don't know what their play with the castle was. I mean,
so
like,
there's...
you're
responding to now, Crow, instead of me.
What? Oh, Twitch shit. So Dylan
Whoa.
is gonna do pretty much the same thing. So we see this strategy a lot, and what it is you open up. So I actually didn't see this last time until the very end of the round. What you do is you open the study walls, you make that kind of T, and that's why you bring the Doc, because he'll challenge the study balcony from inside of Vault, and of course, because he's taking those aggressive engagements, he's likely going to take a lot of damage if he's not hitting the headshots, and so you need the Doc. Duh. Emergence didn't do that. Emergence decided to completely abandon study, get control of Vault, pushing through the doorways, and they won the round because Goria got into Vault and killed everyone. So I don't know why Pryde are doing it again, because Emergence aren't going for that push again. And if they give up Vault early like they did last time, and give up the roam like they did last time, as they will do now as Clouds finds the first pick onto Rizzer, they're going to box themselves into the site, and anyone out of the site will stay out. You saw that desperate attempt from Oni to try and counter the plant behind Risk, but because the plant was going down Risk and there was a castle barricade, Oni couldn't do anything. I don't know. This is concerning from Pryde, and if Emergence are able to yet again take Vault and push through the Risk door, then this is going to be 5-3.
Right, Pryde's gonna have to start getting creative here if they actually want to win out this round, because you see the push is starting to mount. In the words of Chief, is a little bit of a boa constrictor rule, where we see that Emergence is slowly closing in on Pryde when they box themselves into the objective. We know Villa, especially Aviator, is not a good site to find yourself in a spot where you're surrounded. Oh my god. That was...
Well...
That was interesting.
Here we go again. Oni's gonna die. Sam at least has picked himself back up, but Michaela's extremely lit. Sam will use one of his stim charges to re-heal her, and Sam will use his last one to overheal and get that 100 HP back. Zofia will take his head clean off, though. So much for that HP if you can't win your freaking gunfights. Michaela now prone will be droned out, and it's a 5 versus 2 leading in the last 48 seconds. An open vault wall means that Dylan is going to have to get aggressive to try and bring things back for his team. Michaela misses the shots onto the Nomad, and Goria will be down, but there's no finisher. Dylan gets aggressive, and because there's no trade back, he'll be able to move out into 90 and maybe flank these hallway players. The one in Classical Hall goes down, Move now dead, but unfortunately cannot pull the shotgun out fast enough, as in the site, Ben will take out his teammate of Michaela as well. Another successful attack onto AVG. As for the second round in a row, Pryde's roam does nothing, Pryde's anchors do nothing, and the study hold does nothing.
And so what are they going to do now? They're going to move to trophy
somewhere
and
else.
statuary.
Thank God.
Yeah. Which, trophy and statuary is really the same rule of thumb. If your roam is absolutely weak, to say the least, then you can very easily get dominated. It really is a very symmetrical way. That, I mean, it's not as bad in trophy statuary as it is in aviator, where you can get surrounded, but I think it's a very similar strategy that all you basically have to do as an attacker is surround the objective, and you basically win, because again, Hill is like kind of a big box. 2 floors, well technically 3, but 2 main floors, and you can find your way around the little box in the objective very, very easily. So that's why you have extended holds, that's why you have roamers, that's why you waste time for emergence, okay? That's why you gotta stop their aggressive plays. Because Emergence can keep up the pace. They are a structured team at heart, but they're an aggressive team, as is right now. So, structure plus aggression equals a very deadly combo on Villa, and for Pryde not to be responding to that with at least some form of structure of their own is really kind of a horrible mixture. It is. They're not having a good roam. We see that. Their performance is very lackluster at best, and it's showing. It's showing in the kills, it's showing in round count, it's showing in their individual plays, it's even probably showing in their mental fortitude. There's a lot going on in the hands of Pryde that they're going to need to fix.
Goria is droning out basement. Basement is not an area of the map that we often see utilized because it's pretty irrelevant most of the time. And the fact that they're droning out basement towards the garage side is kind of just going to broadcast the fact that they're going to place men inside of pantry. I'm trying to set up so they can't get flanked by any defenders who decide to, let's say, walk down the red stairs or anywhere else and try to flank them. So they'll persist inside a pantry. Sam is holding a very tight angle on the back stairs. He'll hear Ben trying to wade slowly through the barbed wire. That is an unfortunate play for Ben. Sam trying to come back through the site, though, or not through the site, but through China under the site, will be refragged, so it's a 1-for-1, though Malusi's already got her utility down. Advantage in Pryde's favor.
Advantage to Pryde's favor? Definitely. Ben's a big fragger. He also has a lot of utility. I basically just reiterated what you said, but 4v4, 5-3 score line. We got Velk, Jaeger, Maestro, and Mute still up on the board. Second does have the diffuser though, and you can definitely see that this is going to be a bottom-up push with a little bit of a duality on Master Bedroom. So I'm kind of excited for that. They're finally getting the hang of this attack thing.
Wow.
But Finn, hello, onto Mac, the Maestro going 0-8. Had a great performance last time, but this time she's not getting a hit.
Yeah, she was
does not spawn in this time.
She was top fragging her team last map, wasn't she? No, she was top fragging her team until the end where Dylan surpassed her, but she was still up there, and she just got absolutely destroyed by Son of Finn. Fantastic shot from the Hibana. Oni will try to challenge the prone Evil Clouds, but Yana would be better in that fight because a prone peak like that is pretty easy to contest. Now it's Dylan and Rizzer in a 2 versus 4. There's one guy on the window, and unfortunately the debris will block moved. Now it's just Rizzer. 1v4, can't even win against movement on the window, even though he already knew she was there. Emergence will win round number 9. They put themselves on map point, and so far it's looking like Chief is going to be right with his prediction, and we will see a 1-1 tie map count.
Chief never misses, man.
He did earlier in the week. I saw 2 of those wrong predictions on the graphic. Chief, you're not 100%, man.
What, he's like 2 for 2 now? He's about to be 2 for 2.
All right, if we're talking about streaks, then he'll be 3 for 3, I think.
3 for 3.
We want to talk about perfect predictions.
Hey,
my CCS bracket predictions so far are 100% correct, down to map count.
Talk
LFG.
CCS. Bro.
Yeah, my bad. Oh, Echo!
We are talking about Echo, though. Woo! Yay!
Please don't peek Skylight.
Biggest question, Mac. Will you survive?
Oh, they're not doing the castle thing either. All right, cool. We're gonna have a normal AVG defense, one that Emergence won't be able to just walk in on. So hopefully this is a more hotly contested round. They're even going for the impact trick on the vault wall. That'll be likely where Michaela is playing. So not only do you normally see Echoes playing in Vault anyway, but now that Echo has been effectively buffed with the choice of either impacts or a freaking shield, she'll bring impacts because Smoke, one, Smoke already has a shield, two, she wants to impact trick that Vault wall. So far, Emergence, through every attack on AVG, has made their main push through two places. The game's door from landing, and the Vault wall. If you can lock off the Vault wall, that forces Emergence to try and reevaluate, makes them do something different than we've seen throughout this past map, and maybe that forced adjustment will be something that helps out Pryde. Michaela just shot an Echo drone shot for some reason.
Other team.
All right.
They deserve it. That's what they deserve. That's what they deserve. Goria, though. Goria and Ben, they're showing up tonight. 12-5, 10-5. This is a real game. See Rizzer, though. You definitely see that on Pryde, the kills aren't as reliant, especially because they haven't won as many rounds. But Emergence, you definitely see two characters that are doing lots and lots of work.
Oh, I just heard a C4.
Entry fragger and the second entry being Ben and Goria, respectively. They're very beautiful players.
I heard a C4 ripped. I think it was Sam's, because it was in the
Sam
corner where
Mania?
the Zofia was. There's
Sam
now 4 people all on this side of the map, and
Oh.
Ben has not been droned in. There's been a lot of misdroning from both sides. That seems to be a common theme throughout this map. And it's going to give the first pick to Pryde, who are currently in a 3-round deficit. They want to start to come back. That is a good way to do it. ADS will be burnt, and because Jaeger has been nerfed, Goria will be like, all right, it's got to recharge. That allows me to just send in my second shot of the breaching round. I don't believe the Jaeger ADS has been recharged again? Or no, I think it has. I think it caught that last one. Now, Son of Finn will just continue to bait out the impact trick. Very well done by Son of Finn, by the way, because now with the Hibana changes, that's 2 impacts down, and he's still got 12 shots. He used the 4 cluster very well, and now he's going to be able to use the 6, get it open freely, and yet again, now you'll be able to make your assault through Vault Wall. C4 goes up from, I believe that was Rizzer downstairs. He's waiting for the call, but no! Son of Finn is going to mess up the Hibana holes. That is the bane of all Hibana players. That happens. That's not just him, too. That happens to the best of us, and that means his team might not be able to crouch through that hole. That little bar is going to block any sort of avenue into Vault. That, my friends, is now just an angle into the site. Emergence are going to have to reevaluate, like I said. You're going to have Goria going over towards Study, but Sam gets 1 kill. That is a very long pre-fire, and thus the Iana will get refragged because she's got no ammo. A 4 versus 2 for Goria and Son of Finn to try and fight their way out of, but Goria's going to get 2. Son of Finn moving and slowly stopped by the Banshee will start to try and get the plant down, and there's no indirect plant denial from the defense. They'll try to have to swing it. You can nearly see the head. The plant will go down, and unfortunately, Son of Finn can't lift off quick enough as Oni had taken Goria out previously. Pryde, though the Vault Wall still falls, because Son of Finn had messed up the Hibana charges, which sometimes it's probably not his fault, honestly. The game probably just said no, which happens sometimes. And because of that, Pryde are going to be able to recover the round. 6-4, they're not out of it just yet.
Indeed, I was getting a little bit concerned there for Goria now. He was making some plays. He got a 4v2 all the way down to a 2v2. It was almost a win up until Dylan. He came in with the SMG-11, guns blazing, and he won the round. He won the round for Pryde.
Yeah, so Son of Finn, of course, at least he got the plant down. There wasn't much he could do in that situation other than try and get the plant. Goria did his best, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. You know, to quote a great player who goes by the name of Gasher, you might know him, to quote him, you know, sometimes the game just says no, and you got to deal with it. Unfortunately, Emergence could not. So, we are going to have a rehost. I think in the game chat, Oni said Michaela had blue screen, so hopefully that issue is resolved quickly, but until then, we're going to toss to a break. Hopefully we get this rehost sorted out soon, and we will see you after that.
Welcome back. We are back after our rehost into Villa. Emergence versus Pryde. We get pushed into match point. Emergence up 6-4. This could end up being a very evened out series. 7-4 to 7-4. Pryde on one side, Emergence on the other. We're going to be going to kitchen and dining. Now, something interesting about EMG is that they really like Yana, but they do not like Sledge. They absolutely hate Sledge, and Sledge is a really powerful operator on dining and kitchen, and I cannot really pin down the reason why they hate using Sledge so much for vertical play. Are they just more of a horizontal team? Can they not deal with the gunfights against Pryde?
I think they just figure, now that Ashe doesn't have stuns, you can bring whatever you want on her. So you bring breaching, and then Ben also has breaches. If you want, Hibonic and Nomad can even have breaches, but you need some sort of burn. So I guess they figure 6 breaching charges is enough, and they just don't want to bring the sledge and free up that operator pick for Iana, who definitely does give some extra intel. I guess not really infinite intel because it does have to recharge, but not really. It's not as limited as drones are. You can also, you can bait stuff like that. So we'll have to see. Of course, this is dining. Pryde were able to defend AVG on their 3rd go around, and we're not able to do it on trophy. So they figure, hey, we try and bank on the downstairs side as well. Emergence have not seen this yet.
Right, you are. I have not seen this yet. So this is definitely new territory for EMG. They're going to have to deal with it the best they can. We know that they're going to be doing a top-down clear, which is a very standard clear at that. And so nothing absolutely new to analyze here. Maybe other than the Yana. Hello? Oh my god. I hate
Iana's,
seeing her. Yana sucks.
Clouds was
no,
getting
she
it.
doesn't suck. She doesn't.
Clouds was
I
getting
take
it
that back.
frags.
I was mad. I was mad. I'm sorry. She doesn't suck. She doesn't suck. But she is kind of like the Cav of the attack. I say this sparingly because I might be super wrong, but she is kind of like the Cav. She's like an all or nothing. She can either do a whole lot for your team or she does absolutely nothing and goes in and dies. And I mean, kind of like the example right there. Dylan picks up a kill off of Ben. Evil didn't really do anything other than just give them the indirect intel. And it didn't even help because Oni ended up rotating anyways. And Mac's gonna rotate down too. And already, I mean, the first half of the round has been wasted out by Pryde, which is actually kind of big because now there's not that sledge that can just immediately hit his hammer to the ground and it's already Demolition City. No, now you gotta place down the breach charges, and with C4s like Rizzers, you can take advantage of that. So now Clouds is down without making absolutely any waves for EMG, and it looks like Pryde might shake this up, unless they can get the kills to win this round.
That was actually kind of funny. They spotted the guy in Astro, and then as the Zofia started to push, he got C4'd from below. But 2 other C4s, connect. Ben and Clouds both dead. But no more C4 on the side of the defense. Sam, who is the only one with one left in his pocket, died to, I believe it was Moved. Yeah, Moved is the only one with a kill, so that definitely makes sense. Michaela, who was playing downstairs, got lit up, and she will try to retreat as Son of Finn gets a great shot onto Rizzer, evening things out to 3-3. Emergence have now clawed the round back to a possible success. Dylan is inside of the site, tucked right behind the bomb chassis. It doesn't know exactly where he is, but towards the backside, Goria finds Oni. The push-in is successful from Son of Finn. Michaela gets one onto Goria, but it's a 1 versus 2. She has no plant denial. She's on 1 HP. What a headshot on the move. Son of Finn needs to clutch this out, but there's no time. Michaela backs off just in the nick of time. Excellent headshots found with the Scorpion, and round 11 goes the way of the defense. It's now 6-5, and we are 1 round away from OT.
Mac, I love you. You did everything right that round. You backed away when you needed to. You got the kills when you needed to. You got a headshot with the Scorpion. That's hard. You could see she was struggling to control that recoil. Like, that recoil is not tamed. And
so, yeah, I think she was running an angled, I think.
Right. Especially against a player with an ACOG, at the very least.
Yeah, I think if there wasn't a Banshee there, Michaela dies because she is 1 HP. If Son of Finn just came off a little bit quicker, it could have been possible. Of course, he did get 2 kills before that, so the round is not necessarily his fault. It was definitely falls on the rest of his team.
I definitely feel like if he stayed on the plant and kind of
he may have been able to get it down.
Yeah, that could have been a 1 though.
I think he figured Michaela was going to try and push for the to kill the plant, so Son of Finn would have popped up and surprised her. But fortunately for him, not the way it went. Oh well. Still got 1 more try to make things right though. Emergence now have to go back to Trophy, where they were very unsuccessful. Or sorry, Pryde have to go back to Trophy, where they were very unsuccessful. Emergence were able to win their first go-around attacking this site. they'll be, of course, looking to do it again and prevent OT, giving them that full 3 points and still keeping them neck and neck with Pryde. Pryde now put themselves, I think, it was 19 and 21, so Pryde are now at 24 points. If Emergence win this map right now, it'll go back to being 24 to 22. If Pryde make the comeback and win an OT, it'll be 26 to 19, and then Emergence have really, they'll have to wait a whole week before they can try and catch up to Pryde again, because they're 7 points ahead. You can only get a max of 6 per day, and they'd have to bank on the fact that they win both their games in regulation, and Pryde lose both, which I don't even know who these teams play next. Man is already going to take a lot of early damage from the peek from Art Studio, and a nade, though. Michaela walks right into it. She's down on the floor, and with the repel being held inside of Astro, she may not be recoverable. And never mind, he's not holding the rotate, so...
Might actually... Nope. Yeah, definitely not holding that. But moved ends up picking up Oni. So yeah, Oni, who actually facilitated the rehost, interestingly enough, it seemed like they were hoping to have a bit of a momentum reset in terms of like a tactical timeout type of thing. And it worked for the most part. I mean, they got another round out of it, but how far will it take them is the question. They're already down a player in this round as the narrative continues. Oni's down, and although he did not get a kill last round, and I believe he was going negative,
what the hell?
He's a really important player to be losing
that
on
is...
that.
Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
The wall's not actually open. There are just many, many clusters of the double Hibana charge.
That's really weird.
And it'll work against Son of Finn as Michaela just pops up from the other site and kills him. There's another cure from Rizzer down the basement stairs as he finds Goria. Now it's just moved and Ben, moved on the Astro Repel. Ben still downstairs in the hallway. Looks like he'll try to make his way up Astro stairs and contest Michaela. Of course, Michaela is only 1 HP, so it could potentially be an easy kill for Ben, but he's got to actually get up there first. The Nomad will drop down and join his teammate, as Ben will break the barbed wire. Still very wary of someone coming up from below. Of course, there is none, but the impact from below will actually finish Michaela off as she had been previously downed. But diffuser control is not in Emergence's hands. They got 17 seconds to find all 3 of these kills if they want to end the map right here. They'll find the mute, but unfortunately the hipfire can't find its mark. It's just moved in a 1v3. He gets 1 refrag, but towards his back, the Valkyrie hiding in closet will strike. Pryde, they take round number 12. And they make the comeback dream happen. They push us to OT.
Let's give a round of applause to Pryde, putting us into overtime, potentially proving Chief wrong on that little tie there. They might end up going 8-6, finalizing our comeback dream, truly. So it was, I believe it was a 6-4, 6-3, and ended up becoming a 6-6.
Yeah, it was 6-3. It was 3-3 at the half. Emergence won 3 in a row, and then Pryde won 3 in a row. So at this point, we can't really say who has the advantage because it's been even halves from both sides. Although Emergence are going to go AVG, a site that they had a 2-1 positive record defending. So Pryde are now in the hot seat. Are they going to be able to do what they did the 1 round they won it, or are Emergence going to continue their dominant streak on this site? They have the Cade to block any sort of hard breach. The attackers really have no denial of that other than perhaps the nades. If Evil Clouds can position them well enough, they can dodge the nades, but it'll look like they'll just be in pretty default positions. So you just have to throw a stun over the wall, burn whatever utilities protecting the Electroclaw, nade it, and there you go, you can open the wall. Michaela's going to be on Thermite, so it's going to be her job to do it. If she dies early, then Pryde are locked out of the site. If Emergence find her, then there is pretty much no way Pryde are going to be able to win the round unless they pull out something miraculous.
Hey, they could do the clutch reverse sweep. The bait and switch. The Uno reverse card. Crow, don't keep them out of the runnings if they lose Mac. Although, I think I just saw the truest comment that I've seen this entire series, which was, Mac didn't blue screen. Mac installed hacks. And she's winning.
Maybe.
And she doesn't lose.
She left to toggle.
Mac doesn't lose. Mac doesn't lose. Mac toggles.
I don't know, judging by the standings on the scoreboard, I think she's lost plenty of times.
No.
Just judging by league standings.
Shh.
Is that an...
Shh.
Well, oh, is that a Mozzie drone? Okay. That was probably a Mozzie drone. That was weird. IQ doing good work from below. She took out, I think, 2 out of the 3 ADSs, as well as a Mozzie pested drone. So less intel and less utility denial for the defense. Goria takes some damage from somewhere, maybe over towards the study window or the study balcony. Moved on main stairs, is there for support to prevent anyone flanking up. It's Rizzer, who's currently in the closest contention to moved. Sprinting past the doorway is Oni, prepping a nade, but moved will hear it and wisely fall off. Now all 5 men of Emergence are in the site, except for Goria, who's inside of 90, though he's still technically adjacent. Here's the nade to come over and clear the Electro Claw, but it'll actually find a kill on the moved and down Clouds. A brilliant frag there from Oni, and that'll open things up for this attack. The C4 does not find the refrag, but the wall, I believe, is not opened thanks to an impact trick. Goria trying to flank through the red landing and maybe perhaps into the game's doorway, but he'll be droned out. He'll retreat back over towards 90. From downstairs, there's someone who's looking to get a frag through the floor. Oni is on the 90 rappel, waiting for Goria to turn his back, and that is perfect timing from the sledge. 2 and basically a half kills as Evil Clouds now peeks around unwisely, and Rizzer catches him on the mid-prone. It's Son of Finn and Ben, the last 2 alive, whipping out the SMG-11. That's a good kill for Son of Finn. He'll find the first in the round and start to gas out the only avenue the attackers have into the site. Michaela takes a whole lot of damage down to below half, and Rizzer even more. This last smoke grenade could potentially kill him, as now he's got no more, though. Son of Finn is out of denial. Rizzer is down on the floor. Great frag for Ben. There's the finisher, and we're back to a 2 versus 3. Son of Finn holding the doorway. Could find the player on the right, but no, he can't pull the trigger fast enough. It's a 4K for Oni as he finds Ben in the vault, and Pryde will take the first round of OT, putting themselves on map and match point, 1 round away for the 2-0.
A very back and forth close round indeed, but it did end up being Pryde that finished off Emergence, and now they swap spots. So Pryde is going to be at the upper hand going in to our OT match point. So we can definitely tell that they actually might win this one out.
Okay,
Yana, once again, is going to be used. Yana.
All right.
Indeed.
They could. They could win this, but they're going back to AVG, where it took them 3 tries before they won it.
Amazing shoutcast, Crow, by the way. I gotta commend you there.
Thank you. I just kind of took it.
Absolutely beautiful.
So Pryde had to try this site 3 times before they took it, and that's not great. Of course, the 2 failures were using that whack castle strat. As soon as they stopped doing that, they were able to win it out. They're not doing it again. This is the Pryde strategy that was successful, only minus the echo for a Maestro. And the worrying thing about Emergence, though, is that what really helped them win out that round, or almost take it close in the failure and win the round in their successes, was the Hibana, and the fact that they were able to Hibana open vault and deny the impact trick with said Hibana. But now Son of Finn is Thermite. You don't have that flexibility that you'd have with the Hibana, and that kind of, at least to me, screams that maybe they're not going to be going for vault again. Maybe this is going to be a study take.
But we remember the last time Emergence, the last time actually Pryde or Emergence tried to take study, it ended up basically being a kill box. Because it has so many different angles that the defense can take advantage of. One from sight, one from classical, even one below that they can get C4 out.
Oh,
so it's very dangerous.
Crap. I just remembered this league has infinite OT.
Indeed, infinite OT. So if Emergence wins 1, Pryde wins 1, Emergent wins
that better not happen, I swear.
Infinitely.
No.
Continue.
No.
You wanna play infinitely? You wanna cast this infinitely,
No.
bro? Why not? I would love to cast with you. Infinitely. All day. All night.
Okay.
And again. And again. And the next day. And the next day.
don't-
And the next day.
I'm
and the
gonna be
next
honest.
day.
I'm just not a fan of Villa. The longer this Villa map goes on, the longer my pain persists.
Dude,
So,
I hate Villa.
like, it's okay. It's not my favorite. I mean, it's better than seeing, I guess,
It's a very
Oregon for
symmetrical
the
map.
millionth time.
It's such a symmetrical map. That's the one thing I hate about it, because I mean the rooms technically aren't symmetrical, but the way that it's set up with basically 4 quadrants are very it's very predictable. It's not really fun to have to pass over and over and over. But first kill of the round, it's gonna be Ben onto Sam. That was a wonderful swing from Sam, but unfortunately it hit nothing. He was not able to hit his shots, and you know, it got taken advantage of. Now Mac is going to add to the kill feed, picking up Goria. So Goria goes down, and he used the Twitch, unfortunately. Not the most important operator, but indeed a good one for fragging potential. So that already puts Emergence at
Oh, no
fault.
impact. Oh,
Yeah,
no, there it
we
is.
definitely see that Emergence is getting... They're getting bested with their harder breaching opportunities. We already see something going on below from Rizzer. And yet again, absolutely no cigar when it comes to being able to get through the vault. You will not be able to move through it, I believe, unless you
Yeah,
prone it.
they
I don't
put
even
it,
think you can do it at that.
Yeah, I don't think you can prone that. That's going to be purely a sightline. So good job to Michaela for denying Vault as an avenue for the attackers. Here comes Son of Finn. He's going to tuck himself in the Vault wall, but the smoke will start to damage him, and he'll be killed by Michaela on the swing. Moved in Clouds are the last 2 in a 2 versus 4, and Pryde are 1 round away from taking this, and this could be the round to do it. Michaela gets a triple. Oni peeks around Classical Hall by Books, and there we go. The match is finally over. Pryde with an amazing comeback, 5 rounds in a row, bringing us into OT. When they take the map 8-6. Chief, I am sorry, my friend, but you are dead wrong. It's a 2-0 for Pryde, and they put themselves up 5 points.
Indeed, they did. What an amazing comeback. Hard-fought comeback for, for Pryde.
That was intense. Michaela also finally with her first kills coming after the rehost. Maybe she did toggle.
Emergence has they had a really great start, but then their stamina and their mental fortitude, if you would call it that, kind of just slowly curved down. And you could tell by the end they were definitely out of it. They were playing everything so fundamentally, not necessarily checking, you know, flanks and easily getting outplayed. It all became repetitive. I mean, Villa in itself is a very repetitive map, but the way that Emergence played it was definitely not their fullest potential, and I think they kind of peaked at the beginning, and you know, when they went into the second set of rounds, it kind of just went downhill for them.
Yeah, it's like people who peak in high school, and after it's over and they have to face the real world, it just kind of goes right downhill. So
they become hobos and they lose.
Yeah, Pryde with amazing resilience, showing us that, you know, they could delve into the strat book, especially to that AVG defense. I am so thankful that they didn't go for that weird castle strat again, because goddamn did that just not work at all. And they finally win 8-6, so they put themselves up 5 points. They were on 21, I think, so they put themselves on 26. And now, the most important thing too is that you now have a 7-point lead over Emergence. Even if you lose both your games in regulation next week as Pryde, and Emergence wins both of theirs, you're still down a point. Emergence are still down a point. So Pryde have pretty much locked themselves into 5 points for the time being. And we have an interview set up. Rizzer's here. Rizzer. Rizzer still server. Someone's got his unserver mute Rizzer. Hi, Rizzer. Rizzer, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good too. That was a pretty insane comeback from you guys.
Yeah.
So first of all, Kafe, your map pick. Why ban Sledge?
Nades. We always get like, oh my god, I don't want to say a bad word. We always get destroyed by nades. That's like our greatest weakness as a team. So teams love to run Sledge all the time. So we're like, why not ban Sledge? We're not gonna run him. So
why do you guys not run Sledge?
I don't know. I mean, we do run sledge on a lot of maps, but like, since we think he's gonna become the meta, like he's gonna become really, really important. He's gonna become like the Ashe or the Zoe of the new meta. We thought we're gonna ban him, so it takes one set of nades off the enemy team.
Okay, and two, for Kafe, I mean, do you guys find yourselves, at least in your defenses, kind of taking advantage of the lack of vertical play from Emergence? Because a lot of their stuff was purely just horizontal.
Oh yes, we did. We loved their not doing vertical because we just thrived. We just swarmed throughout whatever floor we were on.
And then two, on Kafe, I mean, we saw a lot of like either Hibana or Thermite. Has Maverick kind of fallen off, or are you guys just not a team who tend to run him?
We don't necessarily run Maverick on Kafe unless they run a Cade, but they weren't really running a Cade, so plus we were gonna do a lot of vertical, so there was really no point in bringing a Maverick.
Okay, because I know a lot of people, like, if they're not bringing the sledge, they'll bring the Mav just for the nades. But I think both you guys were bringing the Iana, if I'm correct. Were you guys running the Iana?
We were.
Okay,
Both were.
I just want to make sure. And then of course, even though we're in the new meta, no more shields. Wamai has been nerfed. Do you guys still ban him on both maps? Is that just more of a comfort ban, or do you think he's still a pretty important operator despite the changes?
Yeah, I think it's more of a comfort ban since the new meta, the new season's only been out for 4 days. It's just something we're gonna have to grow out of. We're gonna have to grow up and learn as a team to like ban something more impactful, because I don't think many teams were really scrimming with Momai anyway. So I think it's more of a comfort ban on our part, and we can start banning something way more impactful that we don't use, or that we can grow around the ban,
Okay. And then, moving on to Villa, something that was a bit glaring were your first two AVG defenses, if we want to talk about those. So, the strategy seems to be castle off the game store into study, open up the study walls. I think it was Sam who was playing Doc inside a vault. I've seen that strategy before. I know normally it's used to challenge, like, study and lock the attacker into study. Did Emergence just completely ignoring that throw you guys off?
No, actually, that's kind of our goal with that strat, is just to make them do a master over, and it's to make them uncomfortable on study, and then make it easier for us to kill them on study, so we can regain study control.
It's more like a scare tactic.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. And then what was going wrong for you guys in those deep? Because as soon as you switched off of that, you guys took AVG both times.
Well, I think it was many variables changed between both of those two defenses. We decided to turtle on the last two defenses instead of like expand horizontally, because that's what got me and Oni picked early both times in the first AVG defenses. So we just decided to play it safe rather than extend.
Okay. Yeah, because when I saw you guys going AVG on OT match point on that very last round, I was a little bit worried, and I was very relieved to see you guys were going to turtle up again in it, and it worked out.
I'm interrupting, but your cam, Crow. You were having a disco party there.
That's whatever. I was actually going to throw it to you. I was going to say that's kind of all I got. If you have any questions you want to ask.
Two, and they're actually pretty simple for you, Rizzer. So, more like psychologically and looking at team composition as a whole, what do you think was probably the biggest disadvantage that EMG had going into it that you guys kind of exposed, or a little pressure point that you got into that really worked out?
Well, we saw that Moved was looking to quit the team, so we knew their team was pretty like shaky at that point. So we just kind of adapted to that and just like play really aggressive like usual, but like more like a structured aggressive. We've been working on that really well.
Yeah, think you guys have started to get that down, especially towards the latter half of the game. You guys really showed up there. So kind of segueing into that rehost, that kind of was like a momentum shift for you guys. I just want to know, what were you guys talking about? What were you guys thinking? What was the whole situation there?
Well, we were going to throw them off and do a dining defense. Obviously, we won that because we put everybody on comfort picks. We put Samuel on the MPX, we put me in the MP5, Mac on the Scorpion, Oni on the Commando, and then Dylan on the SMG-11. That's like the ranked superstar squad right there. We are so good with all of those.
Is her comfort pick?
Yeah, it's mine too, but yeah.
Oh, that's awful. The Scorpion with an angled grip is her comfort pick. Sheesh.
I mean, she got the kills to pay the bills.
That is true.
She sure did. I'm proud of her.
I'm proud of her.
And you know, you guys actually,
I'm proud of her.
You guys as well, unfortunately, you don't have enough points to put yourselves above Redux, but you certainly close the gap. You get 5 points today, so you're at 26, Redux are at 30, and you pretty much confirm the fact that you cannot lose 5th place.
Let's go!
Yep, you're
at
in
least,
top 6.
Even if you lose both games next week in regulation and Emergence wins both games in regulation, you still hold a 1-point lead, so there you go.
All right.
So Rizzer, it's been great talking to you. I think this is the very first time we've ever spoken, because I don't think I've casted you before. But it was certainly a good show. You guys are definitely a pretty interesting team. Pretty, for a lack of a better term, decently structured, especially for this league.
Let's go. That's what I like to hear.
So Rizzer, I hope to see more of you in the future. Thank you very much for talking to me. Have a very good night.
You too. Love you, Crow.
I love you too. Well, ain't that nice? But that's
Beautiful, man.
that's it. We're done. That's our last game.
That
From there, what do we
is.
do now?
We bid the audience adieu.
Wait, when's the next stream? When? Monday? What time? Okay. Next
you know
stream.
what? Wait, I wanted to take this opportunity
What?
to link HyperAct, because I'm making this a whole thing now.
You know
Seeing
what?
as I have a beautiful mic from HyperX and that we are sponsored from HyperX. This is
okay.
the
You're gonna plug.
HyperX Quadcast. Yes, I am the plug. I'm the plug.
Okay.
HyperX Quadcast. And this is such a beautiful product. Why don't you guys, take the opportunity to go ahead and maybe buy a
Is it
few HyperX items from.
Is it a
from us.
USB mic?
I'm not going to confirm or deny if it is a USB mic.
It's a USB mic.
I'm not going to confirm or deny
Alright.
this.
Get out of here. All right.
I'm not going to confirm.
That's
or
it.
deny this.
That's it. No more. Monday is our next stream. It'll either be 5:30 or 8:30. One of those times that remains to be seen. Follow us on Twitter. Join Discord. Follow us on Twitch. You'll be updated whenever that stream happens. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for bearing with us through all the rehosts. And we will see you on Monday.